Hey everybody. Just want to thank everybody for listening to today's episode. Just an FYI as you're getting into this episode. It is a two-part episode. And Thursday, when I recorded the beginning episode, I was still recovering from a cold. A cold, not COVID. And still pretty tired from the whole week coming back from the World's trip. So if my energy level seems a little bit low, that is why. Should not be reflective of my enthusiasm of bringing the World's content recap to everyone. It was a great trip, lots of fun, but real life sometimes butts its head in, and we didn't want to delay recording any further as we were all super excited about the wins that everyone had and the spectacular performance and lots of fun that we had. Without further ado, enjoy Clixed Off.
Welcome to Clixed Off, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at LuckyDiceCafe.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, Alex Coons, and Tyler Speeds.
Hey everybody, welcome to Clixed Off today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everybody know Clixed Off is brought to you by TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Find HeroClix new and old on TrollandToad.com and use coupon code CLIXEDOFF for 5% off your HeroClix order. If you like what you're hearing today on Clixed Off, check us out patreon.com/ClixedOff, and $1 and above gets entered into our monthly giveaways. $5 and above gets entered into our Discord server and channel for Patreons for HeroClix strategy and tactics discussion. The giveaway this month of September, which is nearly over, is a $50 web credit to Troll and Toad. Joining me today, well, it's just me today from the crew. Since Azareth is technically not a full-time host, but sort of a full-time host, we have the Team World Champions, starting off with Azareth Strife.
Hey.
And TJ Willer.
Hey, guys.
And lastly but not leastly, Tony Bruno.
Oh. Whoa, we don't talk about him.
Yeah.
We don't talk about him.
So, in that awkward lead up to introducing, I don't know what happens. I don't have Alex. I don't have good segues. So in that awkward lead up, you do have your 2022 HeroClix Team Sealed World Champions. We don't talk about Bruno. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's funny, we all actually, in our group chat between the three of us, we all just said yesterday that it finally started to hit us.
Definitely.
Well, it definitely hit me because the presentation stuff, like I have no idea what they said. No clue. Not a tiniest clue what they said. Because
You're talking about the fan appreciation event, right? Yeah, I was like in a daze the entire way.
Right. So but for us, it's I would say for Tony and I, like, we need to remember what they said because we've got to talk about it, or we're going to be talking about it. So, that we can talk a little bit about that today. There's really not an agenda for today. We just want to talk about Worlds, and there's lots of stuff to talk about from Worlds. So, So Tony, what I found interesting, Brian said this, and this was something that I hadn't thought about, but was pretty cool. You brought the first World Championship home to Team Pusheen.
Yes, I did. Yes. Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that. I mean, Team Pusheen is a really we're really like a close knit group. and we have Kenny Pena, who's won Canadian nationals and national. I'm not sure what he's placed in different tournaments, but he's done well. Brian Galley, he's obviously done well. We have a lot of good players on Pusheen, Kenji Kenshiro.
Yeah.
But
Kenny went immediately back to back in 2014. I think maybe it was 2015. I think it was 2015. No, it was 14 because it was Nick Fury set. Anyways, Kenny went back to back. He was U.S. and Canadian national champion with the same team within the span of about 4 weeks. And then I think it was 2015 or 2016, Kenji won the Canadian national championship. Those are the 3 big ones that I'm aware of that y'all have won. So yeah, a very much star-studded team.
Yeah, and also at our store. I mean, this is not Team Pusheen, but at our store that we play at in Jersey, we also play with Ed and Isaac. So, we have a pretty competitive scene in New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to play slop with y'all.
That sounds like a gauntlet every single week.
Yeah,
Sure it does.
All right, it's casual night. I'm playing my Batman family versus Isaac.
Yeah.
Sounds miserable.
Right. Probably not miserable, but it's probably definitely a very high, probably one of the
difficult.
very high skilled venues in the country.
But they're all good people, so like I really enjoy playing with them.
Right. And also, Tony, you do the Coffee and Clicks podcast and YouTube channel as well. So I guess that means that you were the only. Now that I was thinking about it on the walking upstairs here. You were the only Team Pusheen member that competed this year.
Correct. Well, no, not correct. Actually, not correct. Aries Edge competed this year.
Oh, Aries. Okay, he did.
Aries is part of Team Pusheen.
Gotcha. Did he do team sealed or did he do singles as well?
He did both, I think.
Okay, gotcha. I was not aware of that. So, well, I was like, well, Tony definitely did. I was like, I couldn't think of who else did. So, all right. Well, let's just get into some questions for y'all, right? And then we'll kind of just see where the conversation takes us. How about that? The first question comes from the aforementioned Kenny Pena. What figure would the 3 of y'all agreed to make if that prize was still included?
We actually talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about it.
So TJ and I had actually talked about it. Was it Saturday night? We were just kind of chilling in the hotel room, and TJ and I are both big Gambit fans. And so we were like, "Hey, what if we could convince Tony if we got the chance to actually make a figure if we did like a pre-Mr. Sinister Gambit, like one that's actually like really powerful and has very interesting powers around like speed control." And then we pitched it to Tony.
I would go with that. I would go along with that too. Like I don't want to be like the lone dissenter, I guess, of the group. So like if they really liked Gambit, I would go along with that. The only other idea I had was King Thanos from the Thanos Wins series, where he's got the pet Hulk. I thought that was a cool idea. But I think the Gambit sounds cool. I think that would be a cool idea with the Gambit pre-Sinister. I actually was on my commute home today, and I was thinking of like powers that Gambit could have, like maybe something with like tarot cards, because like it could be like are these like a power that's called like are these playing cards, or I don't know, like where he like picks a tarot card out of the deck or something, and then like I don't know, but there's
I know.
Ooh, so yeah, I like that. From a like he picks up a tarot card.
The power can be called an ace up my sleeve.
Yeah, right. Something up my sleeve or something like that, right? Yeah, like where he picks a tarot card and then you remove it from the game after you pick it or something like that. I don't know.
Right, or doing the kinetic ability to the card You destroy a card for like 5
And
victory.
you get stat bumps.
Or or you just deal damage to a character or make a free attack or something along those lines.
I know. I specifically wanted him in that version of him to do something around affecting character speed values.
Oh yeah,
because
specifically energy. Yeah.
Yeah, because pre-Mr. Sinister Gambit, his power is literally control over kinetic energy, including inside people. He could time stop people. He could also haste them.
Yeah.
Like Gambit pre-Mr. Sinister is no joke.
No, he's like an Omega level mutant before Sinister, right? He's like Omega level.
Yeah, he went to Mr. Sinister and said, "Yo, I'm too powerful. You need to make me weaker, please."
Yeah, so I think that would be cool. I think we could work on something with him. Like, I don't know. I still have my fingers crossed. Maybe WizKids changes their mind or something. So
yeah, at least lets us do something.
I would love to make a map. Like, I would love to even make a map where we do like Clixed Off Coffee House or something like that, right? Like,
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
like that would be cool, right? Like,
that would be totally cool. I think I did mention that to WizKids after the fan appreciation presentation. I was like, look, this might seem a little self-serving at this point, considering my teammates won, but it was like, why was this forgotten? Why was this not added for Team Worlds? And
I don't actually know why they did that, to be honest with you, in the first place.
Well, I tell you, the explanation that I got was they forgot.
And then didn't want to retroactively add it back.
I didn't get an explanation beyond that, so I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So,
if anybody's from WizKids listening, it is a little disappointing.
Yes. So, I would say this. I would just remind folks, if they are listening from WizKids, is that there are a laundry list of very extremely positive things that came out of Worlds, just to be clear.
Absolutely.
So the negative things we mention are not meant to cast a shadow on the positive things.
And that's why I wanted to specify, like, I'm not mad. Like, we're not mad. We're not like throwing fits. We're just a little disappointed.
Right. At least you did get plaques.
Yep, sure did.
So, and y'all get to be the first 3 months in the Clixed Off Men of HeroClix calendar.
Let's go. Say no more on prizing.
Right. Yeah. So, with only the plaque in the photo. So.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
So,
oh boy.
TJ's like, I've already sent that out. That's on my Tinder.
He's already submitted.
The prints are done.
Yeah. He's like, I went to Walmart and printed it on a quilt. Oh man.
God, that's hilarious.
So, next question here. All right. So, Matthew Groenhide, can you describe how you made your 3 teams and decided which player would play which force? How much of your process was advanced practice, and how much was determined in the moment? So Tony, I did hear from the guys that you were putting them like through the paces, right? Like you were saying, let's model this, model that, take a look at this, build these teams. What do you think of that? So in saying that you put them through the ringer, what was in your brick? Like, which brick did y'all get? What were your 3 teams? And then to Matthew's question, how did y'all line all that out, team building wise?
Well, I mean, like ahead of time, I was kind of messaging TJ and Azareth, just like trying to anticipate what we were gonna pull, but like I didn't really anticipate it 100% correctly. Like I just thought we were gonna pull either X-Men or I guess robots, or I don't know what the other thing I was anticipating. Maybe depending on what chase we pulled, but you can't really predict that. So we ended up pulling a lot of like good X-Men to build X-Men teams, which I guess was kind of predictable because X-Men is the best keyword in the set. So,
Yeah.
and then like
And
with robot, you can't really build robot unless you have arcade for the leadership. So
or more than one danger room construct because we only got one.
yeah, we only got one. So
Yeah,
but
realistically, we built 3 X-Men theme teams if I had used a different piece than White
Yeah.
Priestess.
So yeah, to answer the first question, so we got the brick that our chase was Blink, and our super rares were Captain Britain, Monarch, and Garbage,
Yeah,
which was Red Root.
Red Root.
We didn't have a prime.
That also answers the question that was a little bit later of which piece did you throw to the side?
Yeah, Red Root. Never left the package.
you know, I think Red Root's a good piece. I just think none of us really have any experience using it, and
It would have. I think specifically putting him on TJ's team on the Mystical team would have made the Mystical team significantly worse.
Okay.
So yeah, we ended up playing 2 X-Men teams and a Mystical team. I felt confident enough in my abilities when we pulled the Blink. I already kind of knew what she did. I was like, I'll play her. I feel like I can play her well enough. My first 2 rounds said differently. And then Tony was just like, I'm building X-Men. Let's go.
Yeah, my
and
team was.
TJ,
Yeah, TJ had Mystical.
yeah, TJ just grabbed the piece and said, I'm doing my own thing. And he built a really good Mystical team.
Yeah, we didn't really assign teams to each player. We didn't say you get the worst team, you get the best team. We didn't do any of that. We just all 3 of us tried to build teams that we were comfortable with, that we liked. And
yeah.
It kind of just worked out.
And I did our Team Worlds episode for JSA, so I had a really good grasp on figures that I was specifically looking for. So I ended up playing 2 of the common Storms that ended up just being insane.
Yeah, Storm's insane. She's really great.
Yeah.
But I was looking at your team, Azareth. What were you using to deal damage on that team? Because
Blink.
just Blink, right?
Blink the Storms because they can knock they're 3 damage.
That's true.
And Peeper has shield, and then Jean Grey has empower. So
Yeah.
I was able to get damage out, and there's not a ton of reducers in the set, so I was able to just kind of get damage through.
And I had a really well balanced team. I had 2 perplexes, an outwit, possibly 2 perplexes, possibly 2 outwits, a prob. I had 2 ranged attackers. I had rogue for close attacking. I had enhancement. I had a lot of stuff. Just leadership. Just a well balanced team. So mine was extremely well balanced. I had magic to carry everybody around.
Yeah, and then TJ had I think TJ's team actually was the best of all 3 of them.
I think so too, because I played Captain Britain, the Rare Wolverine, the Common Magic to carry everybody around, White Priestess, Danny Moonstar. So everyone else's team was also my team.
Yep.
And we had Storm in there because we, for some reason, thought Storm was mystical. And we threw Monarch to the side because we're like, well, Monarch's bad. And then the last minute, I'm writing the build sheet out, and I'm like, oh, Storm's not mystical. I guess I'm playing Monarch.
Yeah, and I had to finagle fitting in the second Storm on my team.
But it ended up being that Monarch's really handy sometimes.
Yeah, he did work for you. You definitely proved me wrong on that one because I was the one that said he was trash.
He definitely was well worth his 50 points.
Yeah, what did he bring? Because we pulled Monarch in ours, and we were like, yeah, Monarch's trash, and he went to my sideline for a recruiter, and I never used him.
So he could just put the barrier marker down within his range anywhere. So that was huge a few times, but also being able to take away barrier ended up being super clutch. Just the one square gets me in there with Wolverine or Captain Britain.
And you ended up playing at least one Mad Jim Jasper's team, right? At least one.
I played against the Mad Jim Jaspers and Lady Roma team.
Yeah.
That was rough, but every time he puts his barriers down, I get the ability to take them away again.
Yep.
I didn't
And
play
Monarch
much.
was-
I didn't play against much barrier on for personally.
I didn't either.
And Monarch also has Empower and Pulse
Yeah.
Wave.
And he was big for you against the 2 games against Isaac, right?
Oh yeah, without him, there's no chance against I-16.
So you ended up beating Isaac twice, right?
Yeah, we played 4 points in round 1, and I beat Isaac, which did not expect at all when we sat
It
down.
isn't an accomplishment in and of itself.
Right, and then we played 4 points again in Top Cut.
Top 8, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Which we lost to them in round 1, and then
Yes.
beat them in top 8.
So who was the deciding factor there? So TJ, did you won again, and then
And as flipped.
Top 8 was me. I was the deciding factor against Scott, and I won by 5 points.
Yeah, I lost to Ed both times that we matched up. That was the only person I lost to the entire tournament was Ed.
Right.
But I mean, he's Ed, so.
Yeah, and
so you straight wiped the whole time, Tony?
I went 6-2, and the 2 games I lost were against Ed.
We're both dead.
That's really impressive. So you were 6-2. TJ, what did you end up with?
Ended up 5-3.
Okay, and then
And I also ended up in 5-3. Yeah, big shout out to these two, by the way. For the first 2 rounds, I mean, we lost the first round, but the second round, they carried my ass. Literally after round 2, I lost again, and TJ looked at me. He's like, "You're playing that team like Thanos. That's not your play style. Stop it." And like, just a switch just flicked. And like, I immediately just started playing more aggressively, and that's how that team works.
Gotcha. Barnstable wants to know what was your individually, what was your hardest matchup of the day that you won?
Ooh, I'll let you guys go first.
Oh, that I won? Oh, that's got to be Isaac's team, just because of how well he played it and it was planned out. Because he was playing Recruiter Cyclops, and then he also had the rare Magneto. He had Peepers. It was just a lot to deal with, and if you kill something, then you have to deal with whatever he decides to bring in.
Oh, I tell you, I'm already like a little bit. I don't know if the word's jealous, but we did not even get a Magneto in our brick. Sam and Jason and I.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. So I don't feel so bad. Like I'm hearing what y'all played against, and you know what did well, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I guess we probably could have built a little bit better out of our brick, but I don't feel so bad. I just don't feel so bad.
Yeah, but the top 4 I played against the Saturnine Chase, and I had no chance. It was over within 10 minutes. I knew I had no chance to win that game.
Literally, me and TJ sit down. I see what he's playing against. We look at each other like, "You lose, right?"
So you did lose to the Saturnine Chase.
We did.
So
Handily.
Yeah,
but me and Tony carried him that round.
yeah, we all came through for each other when we needed to. That was just like the best.
Yep.
The big thing for.
Agreed. Tony, what was your hardest matchup?
So I had a couple of hard matchups. I mean, I obviously Ed, his team was the White Sword and the Danger Room Apocalypse and WizKid and like just non-theme. So he would just come up and base me and then just like flurry me with White Sword, and so that was tough. And he beat me both times. And then also obviously Lucas at the last match up. I mean, I was very fortunate because I made a mistake. I came up too close, and he could have one-shotted my Cyclops, but he missed like 4 times. He like theme probbed it 3 times, and he missed all 4 times. He
needed a 7.
He needed a 7. He missed it 4 times, and then I came in and went up on points. Because then that was my chance. So I went up on points, and then I just kind of tried to hold on for dear life. as hoping he doesn't come back. I was trying to stay up on points, but he was coming back because then he started calling in. He called in Honey Badger with the recruiter trait with Cyclops. And then he brought in Honey Badger, started eating up my figures, and it was just really close. I think I beat him by like 20 points, but then like actually it was like 10
Technically,
points.
it was 5.
Technically, it was 5 points because I forgot to drop my object.
Yeah, they didn't score the sword bear trait, and Tony forgot to put his sword on the map.
So I thought about recruiting in Honey Badger on my team, but once I realized later that you don't get the Jonathan bystander.
Oh, you don't? He used it.
Oh no.
Wait, so
No.
Isn't it when she starts the game?
No, it's just at the beginning of the game generated Jonathan.
Oh.
Another tough matchup I had though was against Lionel Clark. He had a non-theme team with 2 Danger Room constructs and a bunch of range attackers like Cable and Magneto, and then he put me on negative zone map because he won map, and then I had to try to stay away from him basing me, and like at the very end of the game, I outwitted his plasticity on Mystique, and he tried to break away and failed his breakaway roll, and then I was able to KO his Cora, the Burning Heart, or what I think that's her name.
Cora of the Burning Heart.
Yeah, so I was able to KO her to go up on points at last action, like exactly like buzzer beater on last action. I went up on points to win that game. So,
oh wow,
that was really crazy, that game.
Now, Tony, so were you aware in the final matchup that you had to win? Like, were you aware of that in the moment?
I was at the last
I
5 or 10
so
minutes.
bad.
I was at like the last 5 or 10 minutes. I like looked at TJ and he's like, "You need to win this," and I'm like, "Okay."
See, I was worried that you heard me and TJ talking about how we did.
Well, my wife was in the room and she didn't want me to know she was there because she didn't want to distract me.
Yep.
She didn't come up to me until after the game was over, but I didn't even know she was in the room because, she was hanging out in the hotel or whatever, and then like she told me, she's like, "I didn't want to distract you. I didn't want to I knew that would throw you off your game if you saw me." So
yeah, she was talking to Sam, and she was being a ninja back there. She was staying in your rear, what would you call it, about 120 degrees.
The blind spot.
Yeah, you're 120 degrees that you can't see behind you. She was staying in that periph, that anti-periph. Yeah.
And I couldn't sit still. I was all over the place.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. So Patrick Booth wants to know, was there anything that you played?
I didn't talk about my
yeah, go ahead, Az. Go ahead.
So the 2 matchups that I can recall that were very difficult was one top 8, both games against Scott, but the one that I won was in top 8, beating him by 5 points. He had a Hope Summers Bay of the Blood Moon. I ended up winning Matt both times, taking the negative zone. He advances. The second game, I was able to alter my strategy and make sure I killed Bishop first to take away the outwit. He retorted by killing my Storm and ran away. And what he didn't expect is for me to just literally TK out Blink and fling her across the map to hit Bay the Blood Moon for 2 to take her off Hypersonic. And then we just fought from there. And literally because I scored the sword and the sword bearer trait from Bay, and I don't have sword bearer on any of my figures, I got the win by 5 points. And then top 16 was I played against the full Merlin, and he had Green Priestess and Merlin left, and I'm looking at points. He had killed my Blink. I called in Cora the Burning Heart, the Recruiter, to kill his Captain Britain Rogue. And I look at him, I'm like, math is correct, I kill Green Priestess and you can't run away anymore, right? And he's like, I agree. Killed Green Priestess and I ran. I ran to reset, and then with Double Storm, Merlin is never attacking for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that, by the way, Ass.
You're welcome. Yeah, I was like, all right, this storm knocks you back into the room, and then this storm knocks you back so that you can't ever get line of fire, and then they run away.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I almost killed that Merlin, too. I would have killed him if I had one more turn.
Same here. Same here. Same here. I was not afforded that opportunity, though.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, so was there any strangely constructed teams that you saw in Sealed? I feel like I don't think
Not really.
I don't think we saw anything really strangely constructed.
I think with it being a brick, the teams that I saw were all pretty standard to what I was going to expect.
Right. Joe, did you, Tony Az or Tony TJ, y'all see anything?
Yeah, I don't think I saw anything strange. I mean, like, there was a couple of non-themed, there were a couple of theme teams. I mean, I don't know. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. The only chase I came up against was the White Sword. I don't know, TJ or Azareth, what other chases did you guys face?
I didn't play against a single chase.
Well, I played Saturnine in top 4, and that didn't go well. But in the second round, the guy had Lady Roma and
Mad Jim.
How was Lady Roma? Did she do well, or was she like...
TJ lost map.
When you lose map, it's rough, but then when you go base her with the Rare Wolverine, that who cares if he dies? Because he's coming back. It's fine.
Okay.
That's not true. I played against the Merlin. I forgot. Merlin didn't do anything, and I still stand by my fact that Merlin isn't a good figure.
Right.
If Lady Roma can't make range attacks, then her...
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Was it Merlin at full points or Merlin at 50?
Yeah, it was full point Merlin.
Oh, full point Merlin? Yeah, I don't think
it was full point Merlin, full point Captain Britain Rogue, Magic, Green Priestess.
Yeah, that's the one that you played against. Yeah, and we both played against that.
That's the one I played. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, with it being a steel brick, nothing out of the ordinary that I wasn't expecting.
The only team that I looked at and it didn't track with the rest of the day was the final game, and he just built like a range attacking team. It was unthemed, but it was double Omega Sentinels, 2 of the uncommon magic, a common magic, and Cable.
Oh, that's right. That was the magical team.
Yeah. And
not mythical. It was magical.
Yeah. And it wasn't themed, so I took it to the negative zone where he just couldn't shoot me because I have the barriers and such. So I got the first hit off, and I would based all of his range attackers.
They ended up not playing their Lady Roma. They left her in the box.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that philosophy.
Yeah.
So, Adam wants to know what figures did you pull out of your brick that you threw straight into the trash pile and didn't consider playing?
Red Root.
Technically Red Root and Monarch, but then
Monarch
out of the trash pile.
We're like, wait, where was that landfill? We gotta go get that guy.
Yeah, like I think you all asked me like, are you comfortable playing Red Root? I'm like, no, and then like,
because neither of us wanted to. Yeah. His sword got played.
Yeah, I played Alluvium on Gorgon. Actually, that did well for me one game. I actually used the Smoke Cloud in one game, and it was actually helpful. So.
But yeah, that was the trash figure was Red Root.
Yeah, and you know what? If it tells you how our day went, we played Red Root.
I was gonna say, you guys played Red Root.
Yeah. Because we went for the theme team, and yeah, well, we can talk about. We're not here to talk about my sealed day. I'm just trying to provide some color. Provide some color here. Um,
35-point Gorgon's not bad though, actually, for with the outwit.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad you went with that suggestion when I was like, I think he's good enough to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played that Gorgon in the pre-release. I liked him a lot.
He's good. I think Adam also had a real question. Or no, the real question, that was the real question. The other one was like, how many threes, how many roll?
Yeah, so dice rolls.
Well, how many threes? Yeah, there were a lot of threes.
There were a lot of threes.
Yeah.
Between the both of us, we were
there
not
more
hitting
than three.
anything. Yeah.
So I think we've talked a lot about Clay's Woods question, but y'all are more than welcome to provide any additional color. He says, I recall...
Well, what Clay Wood's question about, like, you know, how our teams didn't look that great compared to, like, all the chases and stuff. I think we actually did have good teams, though. Like,
You did. I agree with that, right?
At first glance, they don't look that great.
Right.
Because it's just a bunch because the X-Men teams are just a bunch of commons and uncommons.
Yeah, it just came down to building the right power sets for each team to make sure you had everything covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what it sounds like, TJ did lose to Saturnine. It doesn't it doesn't sound like you played against a Nimrod Prime or a Chase APOC.
We didn't. We dodged that. They got knocked out the round before.
Right.
Yeah, we were lucky. We were lucky for that.
And
yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Did you?
I don't think we could have beat it.
Did you face any summoners?
I did kill.
Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah, Danny Moonstar was huge in that match, right?
Yeah, so I shot the summoner with White Priestess to knock him to his stop click, and then I mind controlled all of his monsters with Danny Moonstar, and killed him with his own friends.
Common Thanos.
Common Thanos.
Makes sense. But yeah, I think we should mention that the defending Team World Champions did pull the Chase APOC Nimrod Prime brick, and unfortunately, I don't know, maybe I won't say unfortunately, but they lost in top 4 to the team that y'all beat in finals, the Phoenix Nest team.
Yep.
So
earlier in the day, when I saw that they had pulled that brick, I was like, I don't know how they don't repeat.
They I think went undefeated until top 4.
Yep.
Who was this?
It was Maddie, George, and Adam.
George, and Adam. Okay.
They pulled the Chase APOC Nimrod Prime. Which is like pulling the nuts, right? And you know what's funny is that I don't think I heard anywhere else in the room that brick was pulled either.
Nope. I didn't either.
I went up to Maddie, like we were just chatting in between rounds, and like he's like, "What'd you pull?" I'm like, "This," and I'm like, "What'd you pull?" And he's like, "Crazy stuff," and like he was just like telling me all this like stuff that he pulled, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's really good," but yeah.
Yeah, oddly enough, there was the finals set was Chase Blink was the highest rarity and the most powerful, like, quote unquote figure by rarity. That's it. Because Joe had Mad Jim Jaspers, and then everybody else was just like super rares.
Was he sidelining out equipment with Mad Jim?
I don't remember if he did. It didn't come up.
Okay. There's just a barrier piece, basically.
Yeah, there's a really good barrier perplex piece.
So, Paul Cote wants to know the final matches. So, if I recall correctly, as you lost, TJ you won, and then Tony you won last. So, so far...
My game was over first.
Yeah, so far in Team Worlds, I don't believe there's ever been a definitive win.
Not that I know of.
I don't think it's gone win-win. I think it's always been win-loss, and it's always come down to the final game. So, if you want to talk about your game a little bit, what did you play against? And
yeah, so my game was over first because it was against Josafa Alves, who I love playing Joe. Like, we always have a fun game. And he somehow, in a sealed event, pulled a Joe team, which is just unthemed a billion attackers. And him and I just sat there and threw haymakers at each other for about 25 minutes until I was dead. Until I ran out of attackers and he didn't. That was basically how that game went. He moved up. I went and killed his Magic Jaspers with Blink. He then came and killed a Storm. And then we just kind of traded pieces, and Rogue just got out of control, and I could not handle it. His team was Rogue, War, Death, Magic Jaspers, and Jean Grey. And Roulette.
Gotcha. TJ?
So I played against the unthemed Omega, Sentinels, Magics, Cable, and WizKid was there. The idea was all the enhancement and blow you up. But we took him inside to the negative zone, and I shot a wall out when he moved into the middle of the room, and so all of his range attack was based. I got the first hit in, and that kind of decided that game. Because his Cable died.
Gotcha. And then
that was against Kevin.
Yeah, that was Kevin.
Gotcha.
And then only Tony can talk about the game against Lucas, because I don't remember anything.
Yeah, so my game with Lucas, I won map. I saw he had a range team. His team was very similar to mine. He had Bishop on his team. He had Deadpool, and he had like Magneto, and like just like it was pretty, like he had Cyclops with the Recruiter. So I brought him to negative zone prison. I moved up to that little room on the side of negative zone prison. I didn't realize that because he had Peeper on his team, so I didn't realize that he was going to like copy shield to everybody and try to hit me. So that kind of had me worried. But I moved up, perplex up defense, whatever. He is calculating how he can blow up a square of blocking. He blows up a square of blocking with the shield TA to up his range. He copies shield TA with like Deadpool and I think one of his other wild cards, and then he has enhancement with Magneto or enhancement with somebody, I forget. And then he shoots me. He blows up the wall, so he needs a 7 because he's got to get through hindering. Misses. Theme props misses. Theme props misses. Theme props misses. So he's all out of theme props, which then kind of puts it in my favor a little bit. Then my turn. I perplex up speed on Rogue by 2. And then I running shot then I come up with Gorgon, outwit Magneto's energy shield deflection instead of his special power. I just outwit energy shield deflection. I running shot with my Magneto, attacking his Magneto, put him on click 4. I did need a theme prob to do that, so I missed one time. I needed a theme prob. Then I running shot with Cyclops, take out his Magneto. So I KO'd his Magneto. Then I charge with Rogue, 7 square charge, take out Peeper. Then pass turn. Then it was his turn. I forget what happened, but then like the next turn, I outwitted Deadpool's super senses and shot at Deadpool with Cyclops and KO'd Cyclops. Sorry, KO'd Deadpool. So I was up by like 3 figures. But then he had his Cyclops. He recruited Honey Badger and brought in and I don't know if he was able to bring in the bystander, but he did. He had the Honey Badger and the bystander. And then,
he definitively can't or shouldn't have been able to. But if he did, then
that's fine.
It just is what it is. What it is at this point, right?
Yeah. So then he started eating up a bunch of my figures with charged blades and stuff like that. And then I was like, I was like, holy crap! Like now he's coming back on points. And then it just came down to at the end, like I went up and based him with roulette and tarot, and he went up and based me with magic, right? Um, and uh, and then like I was trying to KO magic to get higher on points, and I think all he needed was like 30 points to go up on me. And I needed like 20. If I had KO'd magic, I would have been fine. But we were just missing constantly back and forth, and then I was hitting my super senses over and over again with roulette. So nobody was hitting anything towards the end of the game. We were just like stalled, like our dice went completely cold. So I was up on points.
You guys were giving me an aneurysm. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so then by like we were just basically trying to hit each other, and it could have went either way depending on who hit what, but like time was called and I was up on points, so it was crazy.
You were
Yeah,
probably
when
the most excited last action you probably ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, when last action got called, and me and TJ over here, Lucas saying, "I think you got it," is when me and TJ just started kind of losing our minds.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with the recruiter aspect, you can't, like, after we played our game, looking over at your map, it looked like he just had all these pieces left compared to what you had. So we had no
Yeah, I
idea
thought he was
who had
way
all the
up.
points.
But,
You know,
Tony pulled it out.
Yeah. Because the pieces they're just the recruiter pieces. It was just Honey Badger, and he had Honey Badger, and he had Bishop still on the board. I didn't touch Bishop, and then he had Honey Badger, and he had the Jonathan, and I think that was it. And then I had Magneto, Cyclops. Oh no, he had Cyclops too. He had the recruiter Cyclops that was still on the board. And then I had my Magneto and Cyclops and Roulette and Tarot. So,
Gotcha. All right, so I think the last question regarding specifically your Team Worlds teams, James Stover wants to know who was your MVP, and I think we've beat around that bush a little bit, but succinctly, your MVP figure on each of your teams, TJ.
For me, it has to be Danny Moonstar.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, she came up clutch every time I needed her to.
Tony, how about you?
it's so hard. I mean, Rogue is good sometimes, but sometimes she got KO'd. But sometimes I did get her she in some games she did like do that vampire dial thing and get really high, and that was really good. But honestly, I want to say Cyclops, because that Cyclops, I never thought he was that good. The 6-click Cyclops with no defense power that just has range combat expert, but he's actually really good. Like,
The one that's 11 for 4 on top click?
yeah, like that's nice, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's not bad. So
Yeah, that's really good.
and then I was using him with like the enhancement for Magneto, so like it was like 5 damage. It was crazy.
Right.
So I think Cyclops takes it there.
Then for me, actually, was not Blink. Although Blink was very good in like every matchup. It was a tie between Jean Grey, which we all knew was a power piece, and Storm.
Yeah, I would say Double Storm helps out a lot with Blink.
Yeah, it does.
So,
On top of just being 2 perplexes.
right. So let's talk a little bit about, let's answer Emmanuel's question, and I've got some thoughts on this one. With an attendance of 168 players in singles, do you think more players would have participated in teams had the design of figure for first still been in place?
I personally don't.
I think you had
not being there.
I think you had just about as many as you could
Agreed.
playing in teams. I think it's one of the largest teams events ever.
There were 50 52 teams, right? So that's
52, 57, I think.
There were 57, yeah.
7. So that's
That's more
That's
than
over. That's actually more than singles.
That's 171 players.
Yeah, that was more than singles.
I didn't play singles, so I was one of the ones that didn't.
Right. So there was not some overlap there, but yeah, I think you had just about as many. Now, what I think his second question here: what if Avengers Forever was the product for Team Sealed?
Yeah, that I would see attendance going up.
Well, so here's the thing: I would like to see the World's Team Sealed at some point be a brand new set that nobody knows about. I mean, that obviously if it was Avengers Forever, you have to make the decisions on the fly. Now, and also they give us.
We kind of had that in 2019, kind of.
Oh, I like to practice beforehand, so I don't know.
Right? Yeah, I get
2019 was XBPS. We kind of had that.
We knew all the dials and stuff going into that one.
That's true.
And we only got the 6 boosters that time, so.
Yeah. Give me more sealed bricks. By the way, WizKids, if you're listening, I'm so glad that you made that decision. That was great. Sealed bricks all the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Sealed bricks, great.
Sealed bricks all the way. So,
about 30 minutes to build, please.
Yes.
Yeah, more time to build.
Yeah, I feel like we would have not had our third team the way we did if we had a little bit more time to build.
Yeah.
So.
Because literally, when I was building the sideline for my recruiters, it was literally just give me every card that has the X-Men keyword, and like I'm just walking to round one, like just picking cards.
I'm still throwing figures and cards into your hand while we're going.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's hear a little bit of y'all's thoughts on the event, as it was your second time, and I think TJ and Tony, it was y'all's first time in Memphis.
First time in Memphis, second time in Team Worlds for me. I played in Philly in 2018 with Rena Adams and my brother. That we were a team in Philly. That was in 2018. But this is my only time in Memphis for sure.
And then TJ, this was your first time in Memphis as well?
Yeah, that was my first trip to Memphis at all. But definitely think that setup's great for Worlds and keeps it. We're not having to go through a whole convention to experience that.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then so Tony and TJ, Tony, what did you think of the setup at Memphis and maybe even directly compare and contrast it to the one in Philly?
So the setup in Memphis, as far as Team Worlds only,
the whole thing.
As an event.
I mean, I didn't play the singles event, but the setup in Team Worlds I thought was better than Philly. I thought it was, although it was long, I didn't like. I feel like I played 8 games without like stopping for like food and water. Like I think they did break a little. They did break a little bit, but I had a headache towards the end of it. But I mean, like I think the event was well run. I think they did listen to the players when they asked for more time to build. They were pretty. I mean, how many rounds were there? 4 rounds, and then they cut to top 16. I thought that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't bad. In Philly, I forget how many rounds there were, but it was cut to top 32, I think. And it was I forget what it was in Philly, but
it was 4. It was 4 rounds.
It was 4 rounds. Yeah, I remember we made the top half.
Oh no, it was 5 rounds.
Philly.
It was 5 rounds in Philly.
Yeah,
because my team all went 4-1.
Yeah, it was different in Philly. I forget, but I know I don't like the way they're doing the battle royales now, like the 1 hour time slots. I think that they should go faster. I don't know. Did they do that in Memphis or only in Nationals with the battle royales?
You had the time slots at Worlds. But yeah, I have heard quite a bit of feedback that the battle royals at
Worlds seem to go slow.
Yeah, and then that people wanted a little bit more time to get set up at BRs, and that they would preferred if they just fired as they filled.
That's what I was thinking.
Waiting.
Yes. Yeah, instead of waiting, I was thinking I would prefer that they fire as they filled. That way you get more in, because like I don't know, but that's fine. I only did one battle royale, but that's based on my schedule, my timing. I could only fit in one based on what else we were doing.
Tony was too busy winning.
I was well Saturday actually just like I don't know. I came only specifically for Team Worlds because like my wife was with me. We were gonna go out in Memphis. We went to Beale Street. We hung out. So like literally after Team Worlds and like the fact that we won, I was like, all right, I'm good. Like let's go out. Let's go out to Memphis. Let's go to Beale Street. Let's go to get some barbecue, and let's just have fun.
I'm retiring.
Yeah,
Going out of the pot.
Yeah.
So that's what me and my wife did on Saturday. I played one BR, and then that's what we did on Saturday, and that's it. But I thought it was well run. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was better than it was in 2019, and I thought 2019 was really good.
Yeah. So they definitely improved on a lot of things for Worlds this year. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it. Some of the hiccups that they had, and I would say they did not expect how many of us were going to be there Thursday.
Yup.
So we showed up and showed out and showed WizKids that we want to be there and we want to know when Worlds is going to be for 2023. I think, I know it's probably not going to happen, but if we got the announcements for 2023 Worlds this week, could you imagine how much fanfare there would be to such an announcement?
Yeah, it would be amazing, and I think they would see an increase in attendance.
Right. I think that if they announce it, by February, the date, they don't have to announce the schedule, just the dates.
Yep.
I think we could have 200 people in singles.
Personally, I'd like to see them do it later in September. I mean, that's just me because I'm a teacher, so it's hard to take off in early September. But that's just me.
Sure.
Yeah,
but,
I don't
agree with that. But as long as they do the announcement early in the year, yeah.
Yeah, that's all that really matters is just when the announcement's going to be. So, I'm sorry.
Dan, who is on your team for Team Worlds, Dan?
There was my wife Sam and Jason Alvey.
Oh yeah, and then how did you do in singles too?
So
I know Jason did awesome. He did fourth. He made fourth place, right?
Right. So yeah. So good a time as any to talk about how
that's a good segue.
Yeah, it's a good segue. So just as good a time as any to talk about how Team Clixed Off did over the weekend. Thursday's Silver Age event. I won it. It was not a world championship. However, it is a longer title, and more words equal more better, apparently. So, yeah, I left that being the WizKids inaugural Silver Age side event champion at WizKids Worlds 2022. So that was really cool. Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that event extremely, extremely a lot. And so our team sealed. We ended up going. Was there 4 rounds? Right, 4 rounds or 5?
4 rounds.
Yeah, we ended up going 2 and 2, and not making the cut. I was 3-1 on the day. No, we did 5 rounds. We did 5 rounds because I'm pretty sure we did 5. I don't remember now.
No, it was 4 rounds.
Yeah, so we were actually at the bubble table because the folks that y'all played, the Merlin team was the team that we faced in the last round, and we were pretty low at the bottom on making that top 16 teams cut. So that was a bit unfortunate, but Team Clixed Off, along with Coffee and Click / Pousine, won the World Championship, so that was a big deal. And then in singles, I placed in top 16, losing to Isaac. Az placed in top 8, losing to Isaac, and Jason made top 4, losing to Saul, the champion. And by the way, congratulations to Saul for winning the 2022 singles world championship.
Big congrats to Saul.
So, I'm still trying to get. I haven't reached out to Saul yet, but I'm going to work to get Saul on the podcast as well.
I'm also trying to get him on Coffee and Clicks too. I've messaged him. He's supposed to get back to me.
Sure. So overall, it was a great weekend for Team Clixed Off. We walked away with factory sets and Chase and Prime sets and Con LEs and Plastic Man objects, and I am very excited for the next few weeks of content. We do get to talk about how broken the Plastic Man objects are, how OP Saturnine LE is, and
talk about
the Soul Sword, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming up the next few weeks. So Tony, did you get to go to Marlowe's? Did you eat at Marlowe's while you were there?
No, we ate at this place called Barbecue Shop on Madison Street. It was recommended by a friend of mine that plays HeroClix in my local store. We didn't try Marlowe's. Marlowe's is the one where they pick you up in the pink Cadillac, right?
It is. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe next time we'll try that, but we didn't. I don't know.
Marlowe's was so good.
It was good. Okay.
Yeah. It was delicious.
I don't know if you guys know this too. I want to mention when I was in Worlds in 2018, I won the Connect 4 championship.
Had no idea.
All right, run that by me again.
So when we went to Worlds in 2018. It was my first Worlds, and we had downtime, and I think it was on Sunday or something like that. We didn't really want to play anything. We just went. My brother was getting tired. He's like, I'm gonna go to join this Connect 4 tournament. That they were having at PAX, right? And so I was like, I'll join you, and so I ended up winning the tournament.
Oh my gosh! So, the Clix World Championship is just an afterthought at this point.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, food-wise, we found a new place that no one probably else that listens to the podcast will ever go to. I'd say very few people. So on the way home, we go through Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Okay.
So TJ, you probably didn't even go through Dyersburg, did you?
No, I didn't.
But you went back through Nashville, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so we stopped in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and for those that remember, they used to host WKOs there in Dyersburg. But we went through town, and we were like, okay, everybody's getting hungry. The truck's getting hangry on me. So I pull off, and there's this place called the Grecian Steakhouse. And I'm like, it's the first place right off the road. And we go there at 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. They've got a 4.0 on Yelp. And the parking lot is full at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. And we're like, this place has got to be delicious. It was like an old school Ponderosa. The steak was good. The fish was good. The salad bar was immaculate. So today's Clixed Off recommendation for restaurant is the Grecian Steakhouse in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
All right.
So we are planning on we kind of want to just go there on a day trip now.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you, Dan, Do you live in Tennessee or?
No, we drove back through Tennessee to get to Kentucky, where I live.
Okay, but like if you were to pick between Memphis and Nashville, what would be the number one place?
See, that one's hard. So, like, I definitely feel safer in Nashville. But as long as we stick to the hotel and the convention center, Memphis was fine.
Okay.
But we haven't actually got to explore much of Memphis yet. So, like, there's the huge Bass Pro Shop in Memphis, and I would say probably, Tony, I'm ill-equipped to make a good determination on that question. Because
we went to Sun Records. Sun Records was pretty cool. When we went, the places we went to in Memphis, we went to Sun Records. We did barbecue. We did Beale Street. We obviously did Graceland. I mean, we only had one day, so that's pretty much what we did. I don't know what else. I mean, there's other things too, though.
Sure. But yeah, like Nashville's got like a huge flea market. They kind of have the competing downtown to Memphis, I would say, even though we haven't been to Memphis downtown. So, I don't know. We want to go back to Memphis, and because I haven't got to do the tour yet. Did any of y'all do the tour?
The Elvis tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it on Sunday right before we left.
And
yeah, I did it on Thursday.
So then, TJ, you didn't get to do it either?
No.
So, yeah, I want to go do the tour. So we are thinking about going back to Memphis during a non-Clixed occasion, or staying another day the next time to be able to do the tour. So
I'll send you like a video, because we have like a couple of things we researched on like places to go in Memphis, and there was some pretty cool stuff that popped up.
No, okay, cool. So, but yeah, it was really great. Everything was really awesome as far as the setup of Worlds this time. So, a couple of meta questions for today. Jonah Weikart wants to know, why isn't anyone sick of seeing Iron Man on every other build? Maybe a change to him needs to happen. Iron Man wasn't on every build. He was only on one in the top 8.
Yeah, this was the one that I was like, oh boy, do I have a hot take for you.
Plus, it's only been one set. I mean, they've.
So in 5 rounds of Swift, because I had the bye, and then top 16, top 8, I played one Sicarian Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's not everywhere, and honestly, like, he doesn't need change because there are a multitude of ways of dealing with him.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
he's only come out just like the last set, the Disney Plus. It's only been like a couple months that he's been out.
But that shouldn't be a factor on like if there should be something like damaging him. But the fact that he is that he's not really countered, but he is managed by Outwit.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I did see something played, and I played it my first round that we played, the second round of singles, was Galactus on Prime Mimic.
Yep,
and
I have seen that,
and I still think that there might be a place for Galactus on Sicarian Iron Man.
I know that prior to Worlds, Nate was testing that specifically so that he could not be outwitted. And I'm like,
right.
Makes sense to me.
Right. And it actually has an effect on like the squirrely, like squirrel hole teams, right? The ones that stay back. Yeah. It makes a difference.
Yep. And Iron Man can effectively use every power on the hero tile.
That's right. I mean, the willpower he can't because he already got it, but I mean, the phasing and all that other kind of stuff makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So no, I don't know. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think Iron Man needs much of a change at this point.
I clearly agree.
I think that he's perfectly fine.
I think Iron Man's okay.
Especially with the introductions of the Incapacitate card, the Mind Control card, and Legacy Magneto.
A lot of what I do against Iron Man is just come up aggressive against him, because if you move all the way up, then he can't pick up his objects in time, and then he's got to scramble to pick up his objects. Because if you come at your opponent aggressively, then they don't have time to set things up. I mean, obviously it's situational, but
yeah. Yeah, Scar and Iron Man got you down. Try out Legacy Magneto.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So, what else do y'all want to talk about Worlds?
The fan appreciation event. I mean, what did you guys think about equipment and the changes? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Well, yeah.
That's a big deal.
Right. So I tell you. So Tony, we can definitely talk about that. So I think for those wondering, we will go do a slide-by-slide analysis of the fan appreciation event and the announcements.
There's some big changes to the game coming.
Yeah, there is some big changes coming. So we will do a slide-by-slide with the rest of the guys. But, I mean, we're more than welcome to talk about it with y'all, too. So let me pull up the slide real quick while I'm doing this. We can just step. How about we just step through some of the slides real quick, and I will just talk about it with y'all, because the opinions that y'all have, folks will want to hear just as much as the opinions of, Tyler, Jason, and Alex. So
before we get into that, can I bring up one topic about Worlds I want to kind of get you guys' input on before we move on to the changes? For the people that played in singles, how did you guys feel playing tarot cards?
I think they're absolutely great for diversity to the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Every turn.
I was going to ask that. Did you guys? Because I didn't play in the singles event. Was there a lot of tarot card usage?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think I had one opponent that didn't play tarot. And did it feel like it slowed the game down at all, or did it feel like it was a pretty fluid mechanic once you're in person?
Feels fluid.
Yeah, it seems like everybody was playing the card as soon as you said your turn.
Did the tarot cards make a difference?
It sure did against me in top 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they definitely can shift the game.
Yep.
Yeah, they made a difference positively more for me than anything. Now, the only time they affected me negatively was in round 6 when I played Saul. And then the Queen of Wands and this +1 to super senses showed up. And
no!
The only thing left on Saul's team was figures with super senses.
3 through 6 super senses?
Yeah,
oh no!
I didn't connect with that attack.
I figured.
Right. I mean, but I had to go make the play. The only thing left on his team was figures with super senses.
Yeah, and against me, the only tarot card that messed me up the whole day was Isaac flipped the exploit card on turn 2 on his alpha. Literally the perfect time to flip it.
Mm-hmm.
I walked up right when that was happening.
Mm-hmm. And I got blown out by that card, and I'm not mad about it. Like them's the breaks.
All right, so so if y'all want to follow along, it is on the Clixed Off Facebook page. We posted the slides in order, so I'd like to thank my wife for taking all of the pictures.
Thanks, Sam.
So the first slide, we got some Avengers Forever sculpts. And then we got Wong, who has... I guess folks were saying that his powers were from... The power names were from the movie, but it was most definitely not a movie Wong. So... but we can, we can talk. We'll be talking more of that stuff in detail, throughout. So I'm just looking here. Batman team up. We get the Clayface. I would say the Clayface that we got. I I hope this is not indicative of the set design.
Let me look at
Sure.
it.
It's got all plasticity for 7 clicks, all invulnerability, and then a special shape change power where he can make the duplicate. So
What is it? A common?
It's
a common.
It is a common. It is a common. That's right. So, like I said, I'm not gonna make judgment, but I hope this is not what we should be seeing. No improved movement. You know.
I mean, he's a tie-up piece, I guess. I don't know. Right,
but he doesn't have any way to heal. I don't know. I just. So let's. I'm just holding out hope. I'm not going to make any negative judgment.
Celebrity keyword, so you can dimensional watch him across the map.
That is true. And then the.
Is this the first instance of Batman enemy team ability we've seen in a long time?
Yeah, I think it is.
Which is a great team ability to copy.
That is true. Now,
I mean, for sealed, he's not bad. I mean, 50 points. He's a pretty big tie-up piece. He's got 7 clicks.
Right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, because like, he's not like really in it. Like, he's got no movement attack or anything like that. He's just kind of like there.
Yeah.
Unavoidable shape change isn't bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's true.
Plus 7 clicks of invulnerable.
Yeah, all right. Y'all might sell me on him. So Batman has the green rally die for all attack rolls. I do like that a lot, and it's a reasonable 3. So then we got to see some Teen Titans Go stuff. We got to see the first Teen Titans Go dial with Red Robin. And by the way, I like on all these photos, if y'all notice, one of the blocks is missing. That was not like a redacted thing. It was just the screen was broke and was missing one of its blocks. That 25-point dial is really good on Robin.
Yeah, 25-point leadership is never anything bad. Leadership and outwit?
Yeah. Well,
no,
that's
just
on
leadership.
the 50-point dial, yeah.
Oh, that is a celebrity leadership too. Celebrity needs leadership.
Oh my!
They don't have.
Well,
they don't have cheap leadership.
Are y'all ready for the funny?
Go for it.
Robin leadershiping Thanos.
Get out of here.
Right. Well, you know what, guys? Spider-Man SVAC is almost certainly going to be retired next June. The keyword cheating was going to be missed.
And also, I guess maybe some SVAC bricks will become available for less than like $600.
Yeah, that's true. Then we got to see some of the Lantern stuff. We got to see Dexstar, which Dexstar has a really good dial for 50. Then lots of constructs, and then I think we get so new equipment rules. Skip the equipment dance, which I guess is just the equipment. They wanted to increase the utility of equipment and then reduce the text on equipable characters. And increase the population of equipable characters. So they showed the Green Lantern ring, which is the keyword Green Lantern. Willpower, when this character can already use willpower, increase the result by +1, and then it allows them to generate the constructs. So it's a power if they don't have the keyword, and then it's
free if they do.
Free if they do. So we don't get any. We didn't get.
We see what set that is in. Or?
That's in Batman Team Up.
Batman Team Up.
So we didn't actually get the wording on this specifically. So you can pay how many points to equip a character?
I believe it's you just pay the point cost of the object.
Okay.
And
I think
something
like that.
To a character.
Yeah, that Green Lantern ring is 10 points. So you pay 10 points and assign it to a character, kind of like a possession or something like that. And then And then also, if it shares a keyword with the character, then it's free instead
If
of
the
10
if
points.
if the object has the keyword that matches up with the character's keyword.
Yeah, then I think it's 0 points.
Oh my gosh! And obviously they said you can't switch it between rounds.
Correct.
But
it would be applied. It would be on the assigned section of your build sheet.
right. Oh my gosh.
There's going to be a lot to think about once Batman Team Up comes out, or once these new rules go into effect.
Once that new rule, and they said it was going to be coming out with Batman Team Up. That I hadn't really thought about all this yet, right? Because I've just been so busy this week. Mad
Jim gets a lot better.
Mad Jim gets a lot better, but I've done it, and I'm just so tired of having to deal with it though. Now I've done it, but the Pog throwing the equipment or my indestructible equipment getting KO'd, the fact that I can just slap
or just getting stolen,
yeah. It's been such a negative play experience that it's so frustrating that I would my Worlds team, I would have loved to been able to play something else on my team and another object, but I just couldn't do it because I knew it would get stolen.
Yeah, equipment is such an interesting and powerful mechanic to the game that really brings a lot of like diversity and like I said, an interesting adaptation. That being able to just have safe equipment is very good for the game.
And it's less punishing if you go second this way now. It
takes
sure is away from the first player.
Also, like, I mean, thinking retroactively, like all the heavy equipment that you couldn't equip unless you needed TK, unless you had TK.
Yeah.
So now you could just equip it, like the Waldo Arms or Necrosword or whatever.
And it also incentivizes now, like, you don't have to use up your standard object slots for special equipment. So you have just more objects to work with. Not that that's a huge deal, but that is a side benefit to that.
Right, but it also increases the damage output of the game, which I think is generally good. Right, helps games go faster. So, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm super excited that that's what's going to be. Like, I'm ready for Batman Team Up.
Okay, we have a whole nother set before then.
What was they talking about with the they're also bringing back knockback damage too, right?
Right, so they are bringing back knockback damage. We didn't get any idea on what's going to happen with that. Like the implement.
And now there are terrain tiles.
Right,
terrain tiles. I didn't catch that one.
We'll get there. So let's get there first. The next thing that's coming out though in Batman Team Up was the mystery cards. During your Scooby-Dooby-Doo. During force construction, you may include any number of mystery cards on your sideline. All mystery cards are unique. Each mystery card has a list of keywords and a clue effect that allows that card to gain clue tokens. When a clue effect is triggered, place a clue token on that card. If multiple mystery cards have the same clue effect, you may only place one clue token on one of those cards when that clue effect is triggered. So kind of like Rally Die, only one clue can be going. Each mystery card has effects that may be used while the number of clue tokens on that card is equal to or greater than the number listed in parentheses next to that effect.
So every effect has a threshold of clues that need to be found to gain that effect.
Right. So
like if you have like 4 clues, then you could do this. If you have 3 clues, you could do this.
Did they unreveal the redacted thing on the thing?
They did.
Maybe.
So when a keyword's mystery ink, or detective mystery ink, when a friendly character with a listed keyword uses blank to target opposing character after resolution, gain 1 clue token. Once per turn, when an opposing character uses blank, you may blank. I don't know if we actually got to see that.
I believe it's Outwit.
The first one was Perplex. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Did they reveal it
almost
later?
Like a title character, only not a character.
Right, except better.
Except better because.
And this is a mechanic that I'm really a fan of because I know a lot of people, and myself included, are tired of like these free 0-point sideline stuff that affects the game. But this is actually something that you have to actively work for.
so far.
Yeah.
So
it
we
looks
didn't,
like, from what I am understanding of the mechanic.
yeah. So we didn't get a we didn't get a picture of the redacted version personally. So I'd have
The unredacted version.
Right. Yeah. So we'd have to go find that if it exists. But that's really cool. I like that. I mean, hey, you know what? It is a 0-point thing that has map-wide effects. And you know what? If they preview this one, this was Mystery Card 003. I'm going to look here and see how many mystery cards are in there real quick.
And like it takes, like, now you might look at a character that has detective different.
Right.
How many mystery cards are you allowed to play at once?
Well,
They go on your sideline, so 9 max.
It'd be 9. I'm looking at the solicit. I'm trying to find. They didn't copy and paste the solicit.
Like they're not unique or anything like that, or
They are. You can only have one of each mystery card.
Right.
Oh, but
so
you can have up to 9 separate ones.
the minis,
Correct.
the mini games include 2 mystery cards. The booster brick contains 8 mystery cards, so we'll have a total of 10 mystery cards to go around. So if that was MC03, so far in the HeroClix world, the higher number things have always been more broken.
Accurate.
So I will, provide a recent example. Maybe I won't be. Never mind, I won't. But in XDPS, G020 was like one of the last ones at Stark Phoenix. That was one of the last ones we got to see preview, one of the most broken ones. And then very specifically, I remember for Avengers Assemble, AI, sorry, there was 2 of them. AI, Groot was the last figure we got to see previewed. And Wolverine ID card was the last one we got to see previewed.
Those are very good figures. Very good elements.
Also, TJ found when uses Perplex to target an opposing character, gain 1 clue. If 3 are on the card, when an opposing character uses shape change, you may re-roll the result. Oh wow! Ooh, which interacts with.
So it's like you're unmasking.
Right.
I like it. You're unmasking that villain.
I like
He's
it.
trying to show that they're not the bad guy. It was Old Man Jenkins all along.
Right, but it has to be a detective that uses Perplex. The fact
Correct.
that they use generic keywords there means that there could be something really, really good.
Right.
Like when
the spoil does have perplex.
well, here's a good mystery card. Are you guys ready?
Okay.
All right, keywords: Cosmic Herald, Clue Effect. When a friendly character with the no, this is what I'm making up. Yes.
Okay.
This is my completely made up but completely awesome mystery card. Okay.
I can only tell where this is going.
Keywords: Cosmic Herald, Clue Effect. When a friendly character with a listed keyword uses mind control. After resolutions, use 1, gain 1 clue token. And then that would be for 3 on the suspects, or the clue effect. And then when there's 3 of them active, once per turn, you may remove a clue token when a character attacks. When they attack, they may not use defense powers. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna ask you the real important question here.
Yeah. What's that?
When did Thanos ever solve a mystery?
He snapped.
Yeah.
That's not a mystery. That's a problem. He solved a problem, not a mystery.
The mystery was how were you going to feed the universe?
The mystery was, who do I love enough to sacrifice?
I hate you both.
You don't. What were you going to say?
So a question about the mystery cards. I'm looking at them right now on HC Realms. So what are the keywords for? And also, when you do you spend these points
No.
these clues, or do you?
I don't think so. I think that just stays on the...
Nothing. Yeah, nothing says that you have to spend them.
So when it says
And,
if you have 3 and it says once per turn reroll shape change, you can do that for the rest of the game. Like,
as long as you have gotten that threshold of clue tokens correct. And the keywords are specifically the characters that can get you a clue token for that mystery.
Oh, so the Lantern Core one that you just sent, I assume you're looking at that one, Tony. TJ sending this in our chat, so.
looking at which is which is BTU.
This would be MC006, the Murder in the City Enduring.
All right, let me look at that one. Okay.
So that's Detective in Green Lantern Corps. During your turn, when a friendly character with the listed keyword has 1 or more action tokens removed, not cleared, after resolutions, gain 1 clue.
That's good.
And then when you get 6, friendly characters have Safeguard, Opposing Perplex, and Opposing Probability Control. When this effect, when this effect first becomes active, choose a friendly character with a listed keyword. This game, that character modifies its combat values +1 and has cosmic energy.
This one's really good.
Well, I mean, unless.
Please notice that
if you hit leadership,
if you
hit leadership
per turn.
Yeah. So you can do multiple willpower.
You can get multiple in one turn.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because you can get willpower, leadership, all those. Yeah, that's crazy.
And you can have it on multiple characters.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you have, like, a Colossal that removes tokens really easy.
If there's a Green Lantern.
They would have to have those keywords.
Oh, man. So that, I mean, I know we don't talk a lot about, like, Golden Age and stuff, but, like, Green Power Battery on your team that grants them the keyword.
Yup.
Yeah.
The battery now has willpower itself on a 3/6 because it's colossal.
Right. The battery doesn't have the keyword, though. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
So,
Lame.
but mystery cards,
Weird.
lots of cool stuff. So then we got to see some stuff from Beyond Amazing, from Spider-Man. I am cool that we get the bombastic Bagman back.
I'm very excited about Bagman.
Yeah, for sure. And then they talked about a couple different stuff. Spider-Gwen, the Matt Murdock.
I'm excited for. Is that the set that has the Gwen as Thor?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That is the figure that I'm excited for. I think that sculpt looks so good.
It does. Hopefully, it's not like your Thor from Empire.
Please don't remind me.
I know.
He's so bad.
And then we go on probably to the last thing to talk about from there. We get a terrain rules update.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like you get to place these pieces of terrain somehow.
Correct. So it seems like you get to alter the map.
And then it looks like you get to, like, maybe pick up the pieces if you're a colossal or a giant?
Or maybe if you have super strength.
I don't know. I see. This is where
how would that be making super strength a viable, useful power?
Right now, this would have to be something where like some folks that were like listening to the thing,
who weren't in the stupor.
Yeah, that weren't in the stupor because like I was not listening to this part of it. So, but we'll definitely talk about this one again in more depth with someone that was listening.
That shipping crate there, it looks like it adds elevation to the map.
It does, and then the excavator bucket adds hindering terrain. It looks like an excavator bucket.
Yeah, I think this was really cool because it seems to be it allows players to alter maps, which is really, really neat.
Right.
Because it's like, man, I really wish I didn't lose map and couldn't go to this place that has absolutely zero hindering. Oh, look, I can make hindering.
Right. So, but we don't know. I know we didn't get anything on how it's going to be implemented or when it's going to be implemented. So,
is it on HC Realms or I'm looking for?
It's in the pictures we took. Tony,
yeah, it was in the slide.
Oh, okay.
On the main Clixed Off page.
And it seems like each tile has like its own like little things that we don't know what they mean, but there's like designations on them about something that they do.
And then kind of did they have they said how the Iconics thing is going to be distributed? Is it like a premium product?
What are they?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think they're just gonna be like a
box set.
Kind of like a box set, like the Hellfire Gala box set. I think it's gonna be a box set.
Gotcha.
Are they actual HeroClix? Like, are they like action figures?
No, they're actual HeroClix. Yeah, so we get the Bane breaking Batman's back, the Snap Thanos. It looks like we get some sort of Iron Man Hall of Armor, which I am at full mast about.
And then PJ is also that on the Bane breaking Batman.
Yeah. I just want the memes. And the Wolverine looking.
The Wolverine looking at the picture. Yeah.
I want that for sure.
Right.
And
we get
Spider-Man's pointing at each other.
The pointing Spider-Mans. Yeah, you definitely have to get all of those, right? And then we get the what was that's when Superman died. We get those. The replacement Superman. And then there's the black suit Superman. And then there was one other. Yeah, so the last picture we took was knockback damage is coming back with the meme of Wolverine longingly touching the photo on a peanut base, of all things.
Well, because he's on a bed.
What about Doomsday, too? Did they have Doomsday, or...
they did. They did take a picture of Doomsday with Doomsday fighting Superman was the pose.
Okay, I'd like to see another really good Doomsday. I mean, I remember the last one was 7 stop clicks or whatever, but it wasn't I don't know. Just like to see them make another really good Doomsday.
Yeah, that one that we got with the stop clicks was really good.
He was good, right?
Yeah, the only problem was he came out the same time as Green Arrow.
Yeah. Oh, so he wasn't good.
Right, so yeah, one-armed Ollie just obliterated him.
Yeah, he could have been good, but he wasn't meta or anything.
Well, now he was good for casual play. I'll say that. But for competitive play, we looked at him and we were like, oh wow, look at all these stop clicks. Oh wow, hey, look at this one-armed Ollie that just came out at the same time. Yeah, that guy literally gets just KO'd. And the amount of attacks that teams are still pumping out, I guess, and they pumped out at that time too, was just not good for that guy. But but yeah, I would say at this point, a lot of the stuff that I've seen coming out, a lot of the photos that they show, I'm just freaking excited to get this stuff in the new sculpt size.
Yep.
Yes.
It's just going to be really great, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have to say the sculpts have been looking amazing lately. Ever since Empire, or even maybe the set before, the sculpts have been really stepping up their game. Their sculpts. WizKids been stepping up their game with sculpts.
I agree.
Yeah. Game is in a very good place, and it's moving in an even better direction.
Right. Except for the current meta, but maybe we don't have to talk about that today.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We can talk about that at another time. Hopefully that is then addressed as well.
Yeah. We'll see.
Today's
Thursday.
One thing though, did you think the singles event was diverse?
I am biased and probably the anomaly. I didn't play a single Apocalypse, and I only played one Thanos.
So I was in about the same boat.
Was I the only Apocalypse you played?
Yeah.
And you were the only Thanos I played. Weird.
Yeah. I was thinking out loud here. Yeah, so, there was the... let me look at the teams real quick, Tony, because, here's the thing. I feel like it was diverse enough, but,
I mean, technically, Apocalypse and Thanos were the ones that everybody was, planning on being the number one, but, non-theme won, right? Saul was playing non-theme, right? Or...
Right.
Saul specifically played the hard counter to both of them,
Okay.
which was
'cause
turn 1, deliver the rune.
Right. And then Isaac, also played the counter to both of them with Beast.
Yep.
So, yeah, the 2 hard counters made it through the rest of the randomness in the field.
Which is a risk that you run when you run hard counters.
Right.
Like, if you don't beat the fringe.
Right. Which I think is maybe what Isaac ran into, is that turn 1 rune versus the X-Men stuff just is not great.
Saul had turn 1 rune like in your face.
Yeah, he could get
how
the
did he
rune
do
to the
that?
starting area.
So
through the angler.
Yeah, so he would switch the Darkhold to the Angler on Scarlet Witch, and then he would place his objects in such a way that if he went first, I mean, obviously if you go first against him, you have some time to interact with the objects, but there are, and combine that with the lack of, with Glengrove Cemetery retiring, is there's always blocking on every single one of the maps that we have in Modern right now. So
I actually like that.
Save for one.
Which one?
Hell's Pit doesn't have any.
Gotcha. But he still has the object play, right?
Yeah.
So he's able to do the double TK with Venom Mags, and then Angler the rest of the way across the map.
He TKs the 8, perplexes Venom Mag's range, TKs again, Angler 6 out, and then can rune on 23. Which is what he did to Jason.
Yeah, he also beat Jason the map, so...
Yeah. Winning map is a big deal for that. He lost map to Isaac, so it shows that, I guess, it works both ways.
Right, yeah, he did. I beat him for map, and he came all the way across the map on me as well. And I just wasn't prepped for that at all. I worked around it, but ours ended up not being a wipe by any means. It just, he outscored me in the time that I had.
Yeah. Big props to Saul on that team. It was a team that I had seen other people working on, and he just made it work.
Yep, he made it work. So, yeah, that's how you could turn 1 rune.
Yep.
I actually think that having maps, like the way that we have the maps right now with, like, every single map has some kind of blocking or elevated on it, I think that's good for the game, though. Like, I think it's, like, kind of, like, good that, like, not... you don't have, like, an extremely oppressive blocking map like Ancient Hold, and you don't have any, like, maps that are... you don't have, like, an extremely open map that's like nothing on it, like Graveyard. So I kind of like there's like all the maps are kind of like in the middle. I don't know, it's just me.
I agree somewhat, but I mean there's still Morlock Tunnels, which is a really oppressive and negative.
Yeah, the one that just came out, right? Morlock Tunnels just that's true.
And then there's still Hell's Pit, that is a literal hell pit of elevation changes. Like, oh my god, that map gives me a headache.
Right.
Yeah, it's rough.
But yeah, I was correct. Not a single Merlin was successful. That figure is garbage.
That is true.
Glad I called that one correctly.
All right. Well, how about we round it out for tonight? And
sure.
So, TJ, final thoughts?
Definitely happy with my first experience in Memphis. I had actually never won an event before other than a local win a map, so this was very there's not even words for it right now.
Oh my! I didn't realize that you hadn't won anything before yet. Okay, well.
No, my general rock play group includes Daniel Powell.
That is true. You did get second the last time we played in person before the pandemic.
Yes.
Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in TJ's boat. I mean, I haven't won anything really, except for like very small local events. I mean, I'm super psyched to be, along with Azareth and TJ to be, call ourselves Team World Champions, and I'm just like really pumped about it. Great experience in Memphis, and I'm really happy.
And then I'll go 3 for 3. I also, at least in HeroClix, I've never won a big event other than the Coffee and Clicks tournament. Not that wasn't a big event, but something on like this scale.
Didn't you win a sealed WKO?
I did, but it was like 15 people.
Well, so yeah, like, I mean, you had one event. I think what TJ's saying that he hasn't won anything bigger. Than
Sure.
Yeah.
So I guess mine is at a less extreme circumstance, but like an event like this size, I was only hoping. I told you guys, I just wanted to top cut Worlds, and I thought I had a chance. Little did I know that it was going to be in teams, and then we were going to win. It was a great weekend. I loved playing with you guys. I look forward to doing it again.
Yes.
TJ was a big rock for me as far as like just keeping myself to my play style. So I have to thank him a lot for just telling me to start playing how I need to play.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Well, there's a lot more to talk about for Worlds. And, a lot more new stuff to talk about. We're going to have Jason on the next podcast. And, guys, congratulations again. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and opinions with the HeroClix community. And, Tony, are you going to have these two guys on your podcast soon?
Yes, I believe we're recording on Tuesday of next week. We're recording, right? I think Az and
I think
TJ.
so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I get back from Charlotte on Monday, so
yeah, we're gonna record Tuesday, and I'll put that up on YouTube.
Perfect.
Basically talking about a lot of the stuff we talked about here, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'll have to come up with some topics for discussion. It should be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Well, hey.
The only thing we won't talk about though is we don't talk about Bruno.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to Clixed Off today. Check out the Coffee and Clicks episode with more Team World Championship coverage. Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of our Worlds breakdown episode. So thanks for listening to the first part there with the Team Worlds champions. The second part here, the second part was going to be the second episode, but ran into a busy day of real life and decided to do just a 2-part episode here. So just as we get into this episode, last night I am still so it was Thursday night, today's Friday night. So Thursday night I'm still recuperating from a cold, not COVID from Worlds, definitely a cold. And so my energy level was a little bit low last night. So I just let the Team Worlds guys, do a lot of the talking. So energy levels feeling good tonight. So plan on talking with Jason here in a few minutes and going from there. And also check out our sponsor Auxxit. Check out the HeroClix Cafe. Link to join. Auxxit in bio. Lots of cool auctions and all kinds of stuff that happen from there. And so joining me tonight is Jason Tripocalypse Alvey.
Hello.
So Jason, we spent like almost 90 hours straight together.
Yeah, we did.
So
and a lot of it playing clicks.
Yeah. So that was fun. So that was quite a bit of fun. So
It was.
So I want to talk about what we did. So, the first part of this episode was talking about what the Team World Champions and what those guys did. And
congratulations to them. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did. They are still super stoked. And I'll tell you, the folks that have listened to the episode have already heard this, but they wanted to make a gambit.
Oh, okay.
So
That would have been cool.
yeah, that's pretty exciting. So the Gambit that wouldn't be. So Thursday, I don't, I want to talk a little bit about what I played in Silver. So we'll start out with what did you do Thursday when we got down there? Like you got from what I saw, you got ushered in. You were like, come on in, play your BR.
Yeah, I used my press pass to just jump the line. No, they were looking for people to just who wanted to play battle royals, just regular battle royals. Of course, we had that huge line going, and I was not in line because I just wasn't going to stand up that long because it just kills my leg. So the nice that young lady, I don't know what her name was, didn't catch it, but from WizKid, she was asking for battle royal players, so I took her up on it and immediately got to go jump in to a battle royal to start off, just a regular Exoswords battle royal, no OP stuff.
Jason,
And,
I know you're 43 now, but you don't have to call her a nice young lady.
Well, she was.
I know she was, but the way you sounded like you were like 63. You're like, oh, that nice young lady. Ask for the BR players.
Well, I was probably older than most folks there, so I don't know. But anyway, I got to go just jump in a couple of battle royals, and that was gonna be my battle royal day. I didn't think I was gonna I didn't know if I'd get a whole lot of chance to play some more. I wanted to play slop, but with the line that long, I knew that wasn't going to be possible, so I just went ahead and did it.
Yeah, slop.
And I won a couple in a row.
Yeah. Shark some BRs immediately. Now,
yeah.
So
I got
what,
a Batman and a Hawkeye, and just walked out.
So what did you do while I played Silver?
Oh, what the hell did I do while you played Silver? Kind of just chilled out and talked to some people. I played those two BRs, and the line was still out the door when that was over with.
Yeah, you got two BRs in before we even started playing Silver.
Yeah, I just hung out there in the lobby area there, pretty much.
Yeah,
and I didn't do a whole lot of anything. I think I spoke with Jason Allen and some of his guys and talked to them, as I remember.
Yeah.
And just kind of shot the shit, and that was pretty much it for that day. And then we went out and ate barbecue after your Silver, I think, right?
No, we ate.
Didn't we? No, that was after.
Yeah, that was after. That was on Friday. We ate barbecue. So, Dylan, to answer your question, no, we did not have enough time after winning Silver Age to go eat barbecue. We ate at the hotel on Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. We went back to the hotel and then and had some dinner there.
Yeah,
as I remember. And then I didn't get any food.
No, that was on Saturday. You didn't get your food. You did actually get your food.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was on Thursday.
No, because it was on Saturday. You were going to eat a little something else on Saturday after we'd already been to.
It was Friday.
Friday. Yeah, sorry, Friday. Yeah.
Because I left, but they never brought me my food, and then I left the restaurant and was going to the front desk, and I wound up drinking mezcal with Saul and Oscar.
Yeah. So, by the way, I did get an order in for that mezcal.
Okay, nice.
So I was able to order it. It is mezcal, JOVEN ESPADIN 400 cojones CONEJOS, and I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, so don't come at me, Dennis.
Did Saul recommend that to you?
So I asked Dennis what it was, and he sent it to me earlier today. And Sam's Club might have it, but I just found a place online that I could order it from, and I ordered us a couple bottles. So
nice. We'll have to get some of that. If you have not had any of that, I suggest you try some because good.
It was possibly one of the best liquors I've had in my entire life.
Yeah, you don't take shots; you sip it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very smoky and very smooth.
It wasn't super smoky.
It is to me.
It was to you, yeah. So, but as a bourbon drinker and a Scotch drinker, it wasn't super smoky or peaty. It was good though.
Yeah, went down very easy.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of burn, which it means it could be very dangerous.
Probably.
So, but yeah, Thursday we ate at the hotel. Everything did go okay food wise on Thursday at the hotel. It seems like the hotel gets over. It seems like everywhere got a little overwhelmed because we existed.
Thursday was kind of a jumbled mess to start off with, really.
Right. Yeah, and they reckon the Whiz Kids folks recognized that, and we're like, oh my gosh, we showed up and showed out for all of that, and
yeah, we did.
So, and I was like, just imagine if y'all had mentioned it earlier.
Right. That line lasted forever. To like register, right?
Mm-hmm.
I played 2 BRs and it was still going.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I know, I get it. They finally cut us over and got the Silver Age going, and I think we got going on Silver at about 4 instead of 2. It was 2 hours late, so
there was just some small logistical issues that people just needed to take some more time to make sure they went right. Like, you should have been able to get in the hotel before the event started, and they should have had 2 registers.
Yeah, I agree. So the hotel things, the problem with the hotel was that there was a different crew from 2019.
Well,
so
they've been initiated now.
Yeah, they've been initiated. So, the folks that were working there when the place opened, right? I mean, they all most likely they got fired during the first half of COVID, right? I mean, when everything got shut down, all those hotels and stuff, immediately started letting go of staff. I'm not saying, maybe I shouldn't say that they were fired. Mm-hmm. I mean, good possibility that there was turnover or, whatever, but I mean, it wasn't the same people. Right. So,
that wreaked havoc on stuff.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it just is what it is. So, but everybody got into their hotel. We got food that night. I did want to talk a little bit about what I played in Silver in some of my matches. So I did an interview on Dial H a little bit about it. I played Thanos, Mad Jim Jaspers, Collector, Groot, Skyscraper Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel ID, Emma Frost ID, Black Widow ID, The Flash ID, Superman ID, CAAV Captain Marvel, XMRF Emma Frost, Chase Black Widow from the movie, Super Rare Flash, JLU Uncommon Superman, the Infinity Gauntlet, Pick a Power, Blue Cube, Gorilla God, and a Black Vulcan. And a spin ring.
Pretty much what you played it in the National Champs?
No, so
Silver?
No, Mad Jim Jaspers and Collector wasn't legal.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So
you played that, okay, yeah.
So I played at Nationals, Silver Nationals, I played a Molecule Man, another Skyscraper Wonder Woman, and a Flora.
That's right, yeah.
And so, and thus began the day of the incorrect the collector ruling issue. So I was told then that collector's bonus stacked if you mind controlled another collector, indicating that the collector bonus was an ongoing effect. But later you'll find out that was not the case. So, at any rate, so Thursday went really well. so silver went really well. I played against a Merlin in round 1, and if Merlin is bad in modern, he is hard to deal with in silver. So
yeah, you got a lot of free actions going on.
Yeah, I did. And I round 1 I faced a Merlin, and I barely got past him, to be honest. I was able to KO his Venom Doctor Strange because of Black Widow being that Nighthawk effect, where she didn't allow their combat values to be increased. And that was the thing that put me over the top. Yeah, because Thanos himself typically took 3 free actions a turn. He free phased, he free chose a power, and then typically free chose out. Free used perplex or outwit. And I never got to mind control in that matchup because he had the emotional modifier on. Battle Fury the whole time because he was playing a Jim Jaspers too. But oddly enough, a free phasing potentially sidestepping ID card battery is just really good enough on his own. I never really needed the mind control too much, actually. So I won that one pretty closely. Then the next round I played against a gentleman from so that guy in round 1, he was from Huntsville, and I apologize, I don't remember everybody's name at this point. But the other gentleman that I played in round 2 was from the Gulf Coast guys, and he was playing Thanos, but he was playing Ultra Chase Thanos. So I lost map round 1. I lost map round 2, and so like he picked. I couldn't. Round 1. I played on the not the Hell's Pit, the mines, the red the red mines.
The red mine.
Yeah, and the second round, I played on... Oh, man, it had elevated on, like, the one side of the map. I am looking... It was a... It might have been blue area. I think it was blue area of the moon is what we played on. I'm just going through... So, it was one of those things. Ultra Chase Thanos doesn't have much of a rollout. And if you just shoot him for a whole bunch of damage, he's kind of easy to take down. So I kind of just shot him for a whole bunch of damage. And that was all it took. So then round 3, so there's 3 rounds, cut top 8. I played against a mirror match, and he won map and took me to Eastview Park. And for whatever reason, he broke first turn immunity. And I couldn't tell you why. There was a play where I could have done the play a little bit better if I had if I had equipped the blue cube initially, did the jump or did the free move jump with it, then switched to the gauntlet. But I was able to mind control out his Thanos that had come out like 3 squares, and Black Widowed him. I took away all of his powers, and knocked him down like half his dial. So he couldn't regen, he couldn't steal energy the next turn. It's taken the powers off the dial for those of you that don't remember the Black Widow chase. So I think it would have been a little bit harder match, but the guy was like, "Oh, I kind of come up with this team, and then I heard you talking about it on your show." And I was like, yeah, you know, I get it. It's, you know, it's not too hard to come up with this sort of team. I get it. But I was like, why did you break first turn immunity? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, you know, basically, he was like, I don't really think he thought I could have got to him, but you know, I was able to just, you know, being able to pick precision strike with off the gauntlet to go with the mind control just helps out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you just make a play, and after you do it, you don't know why you did it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Is that a spoiler alert for the future Jason for all of us?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It is for me too. So I you know, so I went into top 8. I don't know if I was the first seed or not. There was 30 something people in 3 rounds, so there had to have been more than one undefeated. So I'll go into top 8 and I have to play PJ Bolin. And there was pretty much one person I practiced silver with, and
that was him.
It was PJ. And he was, we went to Mount Olympus, which is what we practiced. I did my opening move. He did his opening move. I did my opening move, and I pretty much won the next turn. A little bit more than that. I mean, PJ does his opener. He tanks, you know, my Walking Woods and my Groot, but Jim Jaspers and Skyscraper Wonder Woman, I think, lives, or maybe he tanked Groot, the Woods, and Skyscraper. But I'm able to phase over, you know, do a big mind control. The helmet Emma Frost. I want to thank the first person who, I'm going to look it up real quick because I want to be accurate, and I want to think it was Dylan who asked the first question.
He was.
Was he the one that suggested Emma?
He asked the first question in our thread tonight, but I don't know if he suggested Emma or not.
Right. That's what I was going to look in the group. Let's see. Oh man. Facebook does not make things easy. But I'm just going to go with it being Dylan for now. I want to keep looking, but Dylan suggested that Emma Frost for silver, and man, I know a few other folks did, but man, she was an MVP, and I just don't think that you would ever play her, like, even in casual. Maybe you would in casual, but she's 125 points and really hard to, like, really build around. And
yeah, she doesn't have any movement attack, right? She just kind of sits there and does what she does, right?
She does.
Yeah.
I found it. So I found the thread, and I'm going to sort by all comments. Miles, Constantine Pieper, Dylan Disney. Yeah, it was Dylan. So thank you, Dylan, for being the first one to suggest Emma. So yeah, I think pretty much in that match with PJ, the Emma made a big difference. Just being able to shoot for so much damage and include the improved targeting that I needed. So, but other than that, so in top 4. I played against Caleb Reddick, and that's where we got the double collector ruling, because he was pretty much a mirror match. He had used the Joker gas instead of another ID. But doing that, I was able to one turn as Thanos. I lost map, and he took me to the data mine, and yeah, I one turned as Thanos with his Black Widow, my Black Widow, and the recruit. So it was a total. Wow. It was a total of 15 damage on Thanos.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I know you don't care for ID cards and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But man, it just makes for a different format.
Oh yeah, it's completely different. Yeah.
So, I think like if I played all of those things over again, I probably play the same matchups. I probably have the same team, except I'm probably just using Groot. I'm just adding in more Groots, or I'm making those ID cards in the spin ring. I'm making it a Molecule Man. So it's like the same team. It's just ID cards make it more versatile, and it makes it just a different format. So I personally like the ID cards. I think it made it really great, and it made a lot of fun. So we got to finals, and Lucas conceded to me, basically. We made a deal with... We basically traded Chase Prime sets, and he gave me the win. We were both tired at that point, and he kept calling it the Ten of Swords Chase Prime set. I'm like, Lucas, what the fuck is Ten of Swords?
Yeah, I refuse to call it that. I don't care if it's right or not. I just refuse to go that route.
Right, and I'm just like, because I'm already tired, right? Because we drove down. We left at like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, the Ten of Swords is not in the main set. I'm like, you're talking about a slop card, dude. And he's like, I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the Chase Prime set, Ten of Swords. I'm like, the Ten of Swords is a tarot card, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, oh, X of Swords. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like a good deal for me. And he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to pull anything over on you. And I'm like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, he just wanted that particular one because he just needed those pieces. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, that was the most confusing part of the day. I do think, however, because he was playing the Tri-Sentinels and Scarlet Witch and like a Sheriff Strange, I think. But I think in general, I would have to say, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If Lucas hears it and proves me wrong or whatever, I think Emma Frost would have let me win that matchup. Because if he takes me... She has triple bolt, 12 attack, 4 damage, Psyblast with 8 range. Right. And I could have made it a 15 attack. And then she just goes... She just obliterates three Tri-Sentinels. Just obliterates them.
Right.
And even if we're on one of the indoor maps, right? She just picks improved targeting, blocking, the good one, and just deletes them.
Right.
I still have to hit the roll and all that stuff. I get it. But she has prob. Oh, she also has prob.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's fucking badass, dude. And at any rate, I think I could have done okay in that matchup. But at any rate, I won the Silver Age event and was super excited about that. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I still have those Chase Prime sets if anybody wants them. Just give me some money, please. So Friday, I think the biggest negative for me was that the hotel breakfast was expensive.
Right.
And then come to find out if we do it again, when we do it again, I think we're going to pack our own breakfast for the refrigerator.
That makes sense. Yeah, we kind of lived at McDonald's breakfast.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that makes anybody listen to the podcast retch. I cannot even think about eating a sausage McMuffin right about now. I mean, we ate it Friday. We ate it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning.
And Sunday.
Oh my gosh! And like we were going to go to Burger King, but Burger King was freaking closed. Didn't have breakfast.
The doors were closed. You couldn't get in there.
Right. Yeah.
It was drive-through only.
It was drive-through only, and we had a truckload, so there was no way we were going through the drive-through.
Yeah. Like I just wasn't paying $25. I'm sure the food was great. I remember in 2019 they had a good buffet, but it was expensive then. It's even more expensive now.
Right.
There's no way I was spending that kind of money on breakfast every morning. I'm just not doing it.
Right.
Like I was good spending my $3 to $5 that I spent.
Yeah.
At Mickey D's.
Yeah, I agree, and that was the play for us. So, but I think next time we will bring our own breakfast stuff.
I think that might be like one of the real kind of, I don't know, for me, like it's one of the real downfalls of the whole thing is like the food situation is a little bit like hard to deal with. You know,
the breakfast definitely was.
It's too expensive. The restaurant, the hotels overran at night. Like,
but now, so the other thing is, there's 2 restaurants. We just didn't go to the other restaurant. The other restaurant wasn't as busy. So I think
we were in the EP restaurant.
Yeah, we went to the EP restaurant. There was another one, but it was a little bit more. It had a little bit more high class entree type food, which was probably not a big deal. Probably not a big deal that we could have done. But I
think everybody said the food at the EP was good when you got it. I mean, I wouldn't know, but
well, you had it the first night. You had it the first night.
No, I didn't go there. I stayed in the hotel room.
Oh, that's right. You didn't go down there Thursday night. That's right.
I spent that time to call the family and check in and chill out.
Right.
That's what I did.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it was fine. I mean, they just got overran, I think.
Yeah, they were very busy.
Yeah, the issue ends up being is that there's not a good sit down place besides Marlowe's close by.
Yeah, the area's kind of sketchy.
We did talk about that before Worlds.
I know we did. It's just not like a great. You can't just go, sauntering down the street and just go find some place to eat.
Right.
Necessarily.
Right. Yeah. So there ended up not being like a B-Dubs close by or an Applebee's or anywhere like that. So
unfortunately, I'm jonesing for some wings right now.
Yeah. I'm with you. But we also. I think we're going to take credit for this, Jason. We got Marlowe's overran with Clixed players.
That's what the waitress seemed to think. Yeah.
The waitress was like, "We have been busier since Thursday than we have been since Elvis Fest," and we're like, yeah. You're welcome. We talked about it on our podcast and told everybody to come here.
Yeah.
And every time
we didn't get to take the pink Cadillac ride, but
we did. We drove down there this time. But yeah, every time we were down there, the 2 times we were down there, there was HeroClix players eating food there.
Yep.
So
sure was.
Marlowe's was good. But anyways, we woke up Friday. We went to McDonald's for the first time of 3 times, and then so it was you, Sam, and I on Team Worlds. And we ended up going 2 and 4. I think, and after talking to Az last night,
2 and 4.
2 and 2. Sorry, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
2 and 2 out of the 4 rounds is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. We pulled the Captain Britain Rogue brick.
Yeah. So. No chase, right? So I just don't think I just don't think we didn't get enough pool. We didn't really get great enough pools to win it.
Well, I mean, really, we were a click of damage away from making top 16.
In 2 rounds.
That was
your law. No, well, and that was the same thing. that guy in round 4 that as beat in top 4 was the guy that took forever to move. And I wasn't going to try to bring that one up, but like the guy took forever to move, and I was like, my Cyclops was ready to go with a 13 attack and a prob to KO his Merlin, and then you forgot the bishop thing too.
Yeah, if I'd have free healed my bishop and was at round 3, then they missed killing my bishop by 1 click, and we won. We would have won the game.
And then that meant we were 3-0 at that point,
yeah,
which meant we would have been in. Which meant we would have been.
We would have been in. We had a bunch of points. We did. We had more points than half of the top 16 that didn't make it.
Right.
Like I had a Abigail Brand X-Men team, and I think really part of where we went wrong was we should have built Sam an unthemed team, but we went with a Morocco team. I don't think that was the best call in hindsight.
Yeah, the red route was not the play.
No,
we should have. We
not.
should have, and we also didn't utilize our common storms that well.
Or the Danny Moonstar.
Yeah. So I should have, in hindsight, had a team with the Danny Moonstars and the Storms, and and then Sam probably should have had the Captain Britain Rogue with Peepers.
Yeah, I have newfound respect for that common storm after seeing it get played. That was a thing. It's just I didn't give it any credit, but it's pretty good actually.
Yeah. Well,
Danny Moonstar's common Thanos. We decided, right?
Yeah. Danny Moonstar's good. And then Storm, what was it? One of the 3 guys, they played 2 of them.
Yeah. I don't remember who that was.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Az or TJ at this point. So,
but she's just bouncing stuff all over the map. It's just, yeah.
I think it was Az that played the 2 Storms, because he talked about knocking that Merlin into the rooms on negative zone, so he could never attack.
Nice.
So, but at any rate, so we could have team built better. We didn't pull the greatest. So
I think we did pretty good what we had overall.
Yeah, we did, right? So just a little bit, we could have done a little bit better, and then I think we would have made top 16. So, but we did get to make the Marlows that night with PJ and Cody and Zach and Sam. So had a pretty big party at the Marlows while we waited on the. Go ahead.
Team Worlds to finish. Yeah, well, I ate way too much that night.
Yeah. Though I exited that event. I weighed myself before and after, and with all of that food and drink, I lost 2 pounds coming in and out of that event.
I came out even.
Yeah, so I mean, and you think about how bad we ate.
We did.
That's how much energy we were burning.
This Saturday and Sunday were like grueling.
But so I mean, like this is going to be a monstrous amount. Like that Friday, I had like 2 breakfast sandwiches at McDonald's. And then I want to say I had either like a couple of hot dogs, like they had the big hot dogs at the venue, and like some cookies. Sam brought us some grandma's cookies. I had like 2 hot dogs, some grandma's cookies, a protein cookie, and then we went to Marlowe's and I had like an appetizer and an entree and a couple of beers, and then I had a salad like at 9:00 at night for like a late supper. At the restaurant when you didn't get your food. So like I probably ate 4,000 to 5,000 calories that day and being a big man, like with as tall as I am and stuff, as tall as you are, like 3,000 calories, 2,500 to 3,000 calories is our maintenance level. But I probably ate 5,000, maybe even more than that day.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I lost 2 pounds over the event.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to, get your weight loss regimen in, just play 10 rounds of highly competitive Clixed over 2 days in a somewhat warm area.
Yeah, for sure. So we did get to see the fan presentation, and that was after the guys won the world championship. Jason, was there anything that you wanted to highlight from the fan presentation? We did go through it last night.
I didn't go. I didn't go to it.
Oh, you didn't go to it?
No, I stayed back me and Zach stayed back and practiced that night.
That's true. Gotcha. So, and I apologize for the coughing. I'm still trying to keep my coughing under control, but I'm just doing the best I can. So, did you look at the pictures that we had?
Yes.
Did you have any questions? Anything that stuck out to you from the pictures?
I'm trying to think what would have stuck out from the pictures. There was a bunch of Spider-Man pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which were mostly what we saw at Gen Con, I think.
I think so, yeah. So,
I think what intrigued me the most was the whole, the equipment rules changes.
Yeah, the equipment rules changes where you can just pay the cost of the equipment to equip it.
Which I absolutely love that.
Oh, man, and we've done it, right? And I was saying this before, and I'll say it again with you, is, we did the whole, TK out a character, call out Jean Grey to fake TK attack the octopus arms, right? We've been doing it. We've been doing it since 2018, 2019.
Yeah, that just feels bad when you're on the other side of that.
It is, and
I hate it. I know at Nats, I played Nate, and that's what he did to me. He won map, and he gets out, he TKs out or whatever, and he gets Mary Jane. He makes those freaking paparazzi, and they grab my cloak and freaking broke it. I hated it.
Right. So
never again.
Yeah. So I really just want that rule to be implemented sooner than later.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that right now. Let's go.
I am. And because there's so many and I don't know how to explain this, and I wish our other co-hosts were here, but it's it bugs me when Tyler engineers that into his team, and I get it, it's all part of it, and I'm not mad at him about it, but it's just let me have my cloak.
Or back at a local game here a while back, me and you were playing, and you had that Latvian peasant on that Latvian village map, and it steals my freaking object. Oh,
right.
Jesus, I hate it.
Right.
It's so annoying.
It is.
Yeah, but you're right. It's just a good play. It's just a good play with the way the rules are right now.
Right. And so I can't be mad. I can be mad about whatever I want, I guess. But I try to not let that stuff bother me. But I get it. It's a good play. It's something you got to do. And but at the end of the day, it's yes, it just gets to start on there. And so we don't know what all's coming in the Batman set. We got a few little previews there, but just having the cloak on Saki, immediately good. I don't know necessarily that I would have anything start on Thanos necessarily, but I can, So, but
yeah,
I think that's going to be really good.
Yeah, and now Mad Jim is just that much better.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, Mad Jim's way better. And he's just way more versatile.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody on your team can start with equipment. I guess it came down to it, right?
They didn't tell us like as far as like, so whenever I didn't listen to the fan presentation because I was just I was on cloud nine with the guys, you know.
Yeah, I guess was there a full rules breakdown on that, or there really was like
no, and it was a little bit hard to hear Scott and Jimmy while they were making the presentation. So
that's another issue I've had, is that microphone just isn't loud enough.
Yeah, so like
in there.
Yeah, so it just kind of is what it is, right? Like there's more to come on that, so like, you know, they could change it up a little bit from what they said. You know, it's not the final product. You know, they say that on a lot of their slides. So, but
and then what terrain was the other thing, right?
Yeah, so like, terrain was the other big thing. You'll be able to put down mystery cards were the other thing as well. So in part one, so did you look at the mystery card slide?
Yes, I have seen those.
Right. So I'll share. This is the Daniel designed mystery card. Are you ready for my player design? Okay, so keywords: Cosmic Herald, Clue Effect. When a friendly character with the listed keyword uses mind control, after resolutions gain 1 clue token.
Oh my lord! Oh gosh,
that would be my ideal mystery card. But you know, mystery cards go on the sideline, and we'll be talking more about this, you know, in future episodes. But there's going to be a lot going on. There's tarot cards, there's mystery cards, you know, there's sideline active effects. There's a lot. There's a lot going on in the game.
Oh, there's a Design Insight article about this as well. I didn't realize there were Scooby Gang dials in here.
Yeah. So we'll
Fred has passenger 4. That's great.
Yeah, he was the one that drove the van, right?
Yeah, he was always driving the van, and he's got telekinesis.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there you go. So, but that was a cool thing. We'll get to review more of as we get to closer to Batman Team Up. But the terrain comes in beyond amazing, is what it sounded like. And it's some sort of like placeable terrain at the beginning of the game, and you can throw it of some sort, depending on like colossals and super strength and stuff. Is what it's
like Hulk could pick up a boulder and like toss it at somebody, or like something to that effect.
Yeah, the picture shows like an elevated, like the elevation is a crate, like a shipping container, like a 20-foot shipping container, and then the hindering was a excavator bucket.
Are we talking like 3D or 2D?
I don't remember. I don't know. So it sounds like there were going to be some sort of rules where you could throw the terrain, you know, if you're colossal or super strength or whatever.
Okay, that's interesting. That'll add a new layer to things.
Yeah, so but that comes out. That's going to be first quarter, probably closer to the end of first quarter 2023. So.
23. Yeah, we got a while to work to. Yeah.
So.
Because Batman got pushed back into 23, correct?
Yeah, the early part of 23, yeah. So the iconic stuff was there. You know, there's the Iron Man Hall of Armor, it looks like. That's pretty badass, of course.
That is pretty cool.
And then you get the meme Spider-Man.
Yes, I'm psyched about that.
Yeah, that is just absolutely amazing. So, you know, I did mention this to the WizKids folks. They did not have an announcement about WKOs.
Right.
And again, I'll said this before, Jason. There was a ton of positive things, an absolute laundry list of positive things about the event, but there was no announcement on WKOs,
Mm-hmm.
which was a bit sad.
Yeah.
Something we were really looking forward to for that.
Yeah, we need that thing to build to, like, every quarter, you know?
Yeah.
Like, without that, it's like from now until, I don't know, whenever we know there's a big event coming, it just kind of seems like it's just like this part of the year is just like a void.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, we only know January at this point, right, for the Florida event.
Right.
And that's not even
exactly.
and that's not even a WizKids event. So
right, that's David Newmark and the Champion Click's doing that. Mm-hmm. So like, we need the WizKids to step up and get something on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think
it drives interest in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, like, we showed up for Worlds. We want it back. Give us WKOs.
Yeah, I think the attendance there shows that people are ready for it. I mean, don't be scared. Let's just do it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Done and done. So, but that was the fan appreciation. It was, again, it was really nice. They did all of that. Lots of great information, and lots of great stuff coming. Give us WKOs back. Then Saturday, we entered the big dance. We had McDonald's for breakfast again. Oh gosh. Oh man, my stomach is literally physically turning at the thought of eating that McDonald's right now. And it's been almost a week. So 168 people signed up for Worlds. 108 had first round buys.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty crazy.
I did like that they went ahead and did 6 rounds. I think that was a lot more fair for the folks that didn't that had to play, that didn't have a bye. So we both had first round buys. Who did you play round 2?
Round 2, I played Dan Dupree from Phoenix Nest. That's who I played.
Okay, I played Dan online. Was Dan playing Vision?
No, he was playing the Ruler Apocalypse Annihilation team.
Okay, the standard 1 Annihilation, the standard 1 APOC build.
Yeah, Scarab, Mad Jim, Magneto. Yeah.
Right. And then, so how did you end up in that match?
I wound up killing his Scarab and his Mad Jim Jaspers 185-0.
And by the way, you might want to talk about what you played. If folks didn't know already, there might be at least one listener that didn't know what you played.
Yeah, if you didn't know, I did go ahead and play Triple Apocalypse at 100 points each.
It was not the 2 boosters of X-Men Rise and Fall sealed.
Yeah, luckily I made the roll to play the Apocalypses, didn't have to play the boosters. So that worked out good for me in the end, if you hadn't heard.
Right.
So, I played Triple Apocalypse. Yeah, he won map. That was the theme of I won map once the entire tournament. With my +3 bonus. So he won map. Yeah, I was able to kill Mad Jim and kill Scarab, which I did a few times that day. He didn't get anything. So 1-0, 85 points to start off with.
Right.
You may just go through this whole thing.
I think we'll just go. No, we'll just go round by round, each of us, and just give us a little. Okay. Just give a little high level preview. So we call it round 1, I guess round 2. So round 2, I played against Jay Sanson from the Gulf Coast, and he did something that I have to shout him out for. He put Galactus on Mimic. And I was looking to see where he finalized in the event. And I was wanting to look through that. And I was wanting to look for your guy, too. So your Dan, the guy that you played Dan in round 1, he ended up going 4-2, 875 points, and ended up 51st in the tournament. And then I wanted to try to find Jay, because I got the pictures right here in front of me. JJJJ. Maybe he was hired. Did he make? Oh man, I don't want to take forever to do this, but I do want to look. So I keep seeing J Major, Robert and H. If you could look at if you had those pictures up, Jason, you could. It's on our main page. Jay Sanson. He ended up going 3-3, 785 points, with and he was 87th. So I did not wipe his team. I ended up KOing. I KO'd his Jubilee. So he did the whole come out and shot something with Jubilee. And my second turn was blah, blah, blah. Shoot Jubilee for 6 damage. He missed the shape change.
Ooh.
And I was like, sorry that was so academic, but that's just how it works. Right? And he was like, yep, you're right. If I hit the shape change, I go on to the next thing. If I don't, you just KO his Jubilee, and I did. So I KO'd his Jubilee, so that put the tempo in my favor. I think I whittled down his team pretty much from there. And then round 3, who did you play round 3?
Round 3, I played Ed Arnold Berkovitz.
Ooh, okay. So,
yep.
A Rock World Champion.
I had quite the schedule.
It sounds
the tournament.
It sounds like it. Yeah. So round 3, Rock Ed Arnold Berkowitz, Rock World Champion among other things, father of the GOAT Isaac. So
Ed was playing the ruler team with Doom instead of Annihilation. He chose to use Lord Doom to limit my pogs. He won map. We went to Hell's Pit. I don't mind playing on Hell's Pit with those guys with Apocalypse. Really, that's the first time I ever played on it. Of course, they ignored elevation. I got my pogs all fly. So we were really going at it with each other. I mean, I had all my Apocalypse moved up into the middle of the map. Really, up into the first third of the map. We were punching back and forth. I managed to KO his Scarab, his Mad Jim, his Venom Magneto, and I had his Lord Doom on its last click. Missed it twice in a row.
Oh man!
Twice in a row, missed it. Actually, 3 times in a row, I guess, missed it to kill it. So I would have scored everything but the Apocalypse. But so I got those 3 figures. I think I scored like 100 and whatever points it was, 120 something points, 130 points, whatever it wound up being. If he didn't score anything. So I was 3-0 at this point.
Is anybody noticing a pattern yet of Jason not giving up any points?
I did take a couple clicks of damage in that one.
Right.
Right.
So round 3, so it was round 3. That'd have been Az. Round 4 would have been Josapha. Then round 5, we played. It was 6 rounds.
We played 6 rounds.
I am missing somebody. Oh no! Sorry, round 3. Yes, I played against. I'm looking at the list of names. That's why I got the list of names up. I played Paul Cote.
Okay.
So his first trip to Worlds. I was joking that I could have just stayed at home in my underwear and played my Swiss rounds of Worlds on a broadcast event. So yeah, round 3 was Paul Cote. He was playing the ruler team with Doom 67. The Doom version of it is what the Doom he came out with. And I got like 200 points out of that team. I won map because we played on Eastview Park, so I'm pretty sure I won map. and he moved up his Doom 67. He said he didn't know why he did it, but he moved up his Doom 67 with the time platform on the turn I had the Fool flipped. And then, so, like, I guess if you think about, while you're thinking about this, if you had any turns where, like, tarot cards made or broke you, mention that as well. So, like, that was definitely a turn where tarot cards made it for me. He didn't get the time platform as Doom. I outwitted the Imperv and shot his Doom for 6 damage. So then round 4. And there was more to it. Obviously, there's a little bit more to it on these matchups, but we're not going to spend we don't want to spend a full hour talking about each matchup.
Right. Round 4, I played none other than Scott Crampton, who was playing your Apocalypse build. Your Thanos build, excuse me.
Right.
Scott won map. The Apocalypse team struggles against hard barrier. I think we've talked about that. He won map. We went to negative zone. We know how this plays out for the most part. It's very. I moved up my Apocalypses toward the center of the map. Probably not soon enough. He retreated into one of the corners. I started blowing out walls. He had perplexed down my range and was able to mind control one of my APOCs to come up, and then he shot him with Thanos. So he had him down to regen clicks. But that was as far as it got. I was unable to get through his barrier. We went 0-0, and Scott graciously decided to concede.
Right.
At that point. So,
which he was allowed to do.
Yeah, he was.
So I'll ask this: were you prepared to take him to a 0-0?
I was, and I did. That was what I was going to do.
Right.
I tried not to do that. I tried to kill things.
Right.
But I was unable to. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I told him before we started. I was like, if that's what happens, I'm prepared.
Right.
And it's kind of a crap. I don't really agree with the rule that the Joe was 0-0 in Swiss. I think it'd be fine if we just had roll off like we used to. That's what that's what we used to do. However many years ago that rule changed, I don't even remember anymore. But it's not. So that's the way it is now. So that's fine. And yeah, he went ahead and he decided to just concede, and on I went.
Right. So then my round 4 was against Azareth. I won map, went to the Eastview Park, and Azareth has a really good collector version of Apocalypse, but I ended up scoring 200 points of his team, and I'd given up minimal points throughout all of my games. But Az ended up going 5-1. Paul, I didn't mention this. Paul ended up going. He was 30. I just saw it here. 34th. So he was 10 points away from the cut.
Yeah, he was real close.
Right. So he didn't score many points off my team, but yeah, round 4 I played against Az, and I won map, and I forget how many points I gave up. Az would probably remember, but mind control is really powerful.
It is.
And I mind controlled and started whittling his team down, and.
It's just what Thanos does.
It just is what it is, right? And I just did Thanos things, and at the end of the day, there wasn't much he could do to it. Now, what was interesting, because I played against Az's APOC and Kote's APOC. When I mind controlled them, they both crit hit something for the win. Like, I'm not going to say for the win, but they were both like, I crit hit, I mind control your APOC, I dual target something, I critically hit with it. And I was like, oh, well, not much you can do about that. You know, I scored, quite a few points in that game. And maybe it wasn't 200. I think it was 100 and something. Because I'm looking at my score now. I scored 6 rounds. I scored 995 points. I scored almost a third of many points. Well, no, it was 500 less points than the highest 4-2, which is it is what it is. So I was 600, as I was 5 rounds, and I scored 600 and something points. Yeah, because some of my wins were very close, and my loss was like 0 points or like 30 points. So,
right.
Of course, Az ended up going and making top 8. He went 5-1 with 1385 in the Swiss. So that puts us into round 5.
Okay, so round 5, I played PJ Bowen, which we know he's playing the Apocalypse Annihilation ruler build that he popularized. This is the game I won map, which helped me immensely. So we went to Cocoa Garden. We went back and forth. He was protecting his easy to kill pieces pretty well. He had to come down at me though. He was setting up for the Annihilation Lasso in-cap card play. I killed his Mad Jim. I'm sorry. I killed his. I think maybe it was Mad Jim and Magneto, or maybe it's Scarab and Magneto. I can't remember which. I killed 2 of those pieces. No, one of them was Magneto. And based his Annihilation with 2 deaths. That's when he was going to make his play. He rolled to breakaway and hit. I probbed him. He missed. He probbed again and missed again. Could not make the attacks. So that pretty much ended it right there at that point. I wound up killing off his Annihilation. Or no, did I get his? Yeah, I got his Annihilation too, and like Mad Jam. I think I scored everything but APOC. But by the time the game was over, I scored like 205 or 200 points, I guess is what it was. When it was all said and done to 0, which probably helped knock him out of the tournament, unfortunately.
He lost his next round too.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, not getting any points hurt though too.
Right. Yeah. You were his first lost, and so he lost another game after that, and I think it was to my Thanos build. I'm pretty certain.
Okay.
So, it sounded like you played either APOC or Thanos all day.
Almost all day, yeah.
Yeah, so round 5, I played against Josafa, which again, I could have done sitting in my underwear at home. I just want to give everybody a nice visual that's listening to the podcast, I suppose. And Joe was playing a unthemed Wonder Woman build. Shifting focus Wonder Woman. And but again, like I hate to keep saying this, but like Thanos just did what Thanos does, and I came over like mind controlled his Molecule Man with this. I popped the tarot cards worked against Joe. Turn 1, I popped the Fool, no emotional modifier. Turn 2, I popped the 6 of Pentacles, and like I shuffled my decks. And people cut them and all that kind of stuff. And like the tarot cards, Fool, 6 of Pentacles. I KO'd his Molecule Man, went back and barriered. Joe gave me a really good fight. I think he probably scored the most amount of points. But, Thanos did what he did and just started mind controlling his team and started punching his whole team. And it just went from there. And there was a point in this game where I'm like, you should always be friendly to your opponent, because Josafa ended his turn, and he was like, "Can I wildcard the Wonder Woman team ability with the Flash?" And I was like, "Absolutely, you can, Josafa. Go ahead." Unfortunately for Josafa, my Hope Summers went, "I'm going to copy Outwit and Perplex from Sicarian Iron Man, Outwit Super Senses on the Flash." It was literally like the next words out of my mouth. It is what it is. But Flash, when you can mind control him and then shoot him, he's pretty powerful. Now keep in mind, this whole time I have the plus damage coming from the Collector on these mind controls. This is an important story artifact later. But round 5, and of course, Josafa made it all the way to top 16. Josafa was 5-1, 1,275 points. So I was Josafa's. That was his only loss in Swiss. So then we go to round 6, last round of Swiss.
Okay, so round 6, I played Robert Bain. He had the mystical Loki team. He got second with at Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty scary team. I mean, I had no shot of winning a map against that. Obviously, he had so many figures and so much prob. We kind of went back and forth on that in the middle of the map. He's killing my Pogs. He eventually moved up, and I was able to just to kill one of the 10-point Lokis. And time was called before he was able to make his big push into my starting area, and I skipped on the skin of my teeth, 10-0.
Right. Yeah, so that was tough. I mean, that was a close one for you, right?
It was a close one for sure.
Right.
It sure was.
So at this point, we are running a long day, right? It's our sixth round.
That's 6 rounds. Mm-hmm.
And I play against Saul.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some turns where I could have gotten ahead, and there was one turn where the tarot card went against me. He had the +1 Super Sense card up, and he had I flipped Queen of Wands. So he had 50-50 Super Senses. The only pieces left to KO on his team had Super Senses. My attack did not land. I don't think he wiped me, but it was very close to not... it was very close to being that away. My Thanos was able to get out of the rune. He turned 1 rune to me. I knocked the Scarlet Witch to her stop click in retaliation. I probably should have went for the KO instead in that case, but I just didn't do it.
He won map, I assume?
No, I won map. I took him to Eastview Park. But he still turned 1 rune me. He can still turn 1 rune you on negative zone too, right? So
yeah.
Just maybe I make it a little bit harder to do. But Eastview Park was fine. I mean, I was taking points with mind control. I was shooting things. I almost had his Sicarian Iron Man KO'd. The funny thing is, he never chose Flurry. So my Hope Summers could not flurry his Sicarian Iron Man. So props to Saul for that. But I lost that one, and I was getting tired as well.
It was a long day.
It was a long day. I would say
And they announced we're going to play one more round.
We announced that we're going to play top 32. So, my physical prep, my mental prep had worked out. I still felt good. I was just tired. I don't know of anybody that really wasn't tired at the end of that day.
I didn't feel bad, but it had been a long day.
Right.
I think I was just kind of dehydrated, really, because it was kind of hot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hot natured, so I'm sitting in there and I'm kind of sweating all day. I didn't drink a whole lot of water, unfortunately, because, I drink what I had, and then we were busy.
Right.
Which,
by the way, if you're listening to this, I've got a Yeti cup from Worlds. Y'all check the Facebook group. Claim it if it's yours. If you can prove that it's yours, I'll ship it out to you. But yeah, water was definitely a thing. We went and got water from Walgreens Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
But it still wasn't enough for some folks. I stayed fairly hydrated. I was in a good shape, but it was just a long day.
Yep.
And I also got the that Saturday morning. I also got the TCB packages fixed for y'all.
So that was an entire debacle we haven't talked about, but yes, Dan did a lot of work to get that fixed.
Yeah. So, and again, I apologize for the coughing in y'all's headphones. Y'all are I'm sorry. That was a whole debacle, I was told that was just chalked up to the folks being new. Or I didn't get the instructions right. I don't know. But again, I told someone, they were like, man, it sounds like you've really had a problem with this. And I'm like, I get it. I worked retail, starting out my career out of high school. So like, it's fine. I get it. It was a debacle though. So we went into top 32. I was 16th seed, which always puts me into the hardest matchup in top 16 because I have to play. If I win my top 32, I have to play the number 1 seed, and I did that at Rock Cup in 2018 when I won that World Championship, the Rock World Championship, and I had to play Tyler in top 16. Mm-hmm. And in this case, you'll find out here in a second because Jason, who did you play in top 32?
Okay, so top 32. Here I am. I'm 6-0. Didn't give up any points. I did not think that I was going to be sitting here in this position. I'm 3rd seed.
Right.
At the beginning of the day.
So Jason, I tell you what my thought was at this point. And like I was obviously very confident in your ability to play this team. And I was very confident in you. I think, though, in the back of my head, my thought was, at the beginning, I was like, I sure hope Jason just doesn't run into a bunch of 0-0s. And right. I was like, if Jason...
They're much more deadly in.
Right. They're because in Swiss rounds, right, I'm just like, Jason avoided the 0-0s. Jason scored points. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'll say this, Jason. I know that you posted your thank you post, and all of us, had faith in you on the team here. But yeah, Jason, we did. We had faith in your ability to pilot the Tripocalypse. So I can say this, whatever. Stroke your ego, Jason. I am very proud of you for how you piloted the team. You played the team how you were supposed to play it.
All except for one game, but yeah.
Except for the top, right? Except for the top 4, but we're not quite there yet. So,
yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, I played Adam Friedman. Right. Team champ, like 2020. Was it 2021 that he won? The Worlds that we did.
So he won 2019 WizKids Worlds. He's a WizKids national champion. He was the online national and world champion for The Rock. Yeah. Essentially sponsored by WizKids or whatever. But obviously Adam's, top tier player. So.
Yep. I enjoy playing Adam. He's always talking stuff out. I enjoy. I've played him a few times now between online and that. I always like playing Adam. So he's playing the Legacy Apocalypse ruler team.
Wait, so hold on. So you played. So you played the Legacy, the ruler team.
Legacy. Yeah, like APOC Annihilation, then APOC Doom, then your Thanos build, then APOC Annihilation, then the Loki Mystical Blackheart team, and now APOC Doom again.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So how did
So
that go?
so here we are. So now this is the seventh game, or seventh round of the day. Basically, I have faced like three. This is my fourth former champion that I've played, and a Nationals finalist runner up. Okay, so I've had a pretty tough schedule at this point, I guess. So he won that. We go to negative zone. He is playing DJ Doom with a time platform, of course. Scarab, Mad Gem, Venom Mags, Legacy Apocalypse. So I try to move up to the middle of the map because he's in his starting area. He's got enough barrier. He's using APOC at the front to body block, and then he can mastermind off, and he's using the Mad Gem's barrier to keep them from getting attacked on the side. And I've moved up. I probably didn't move up fast. I should have probably just, at the beginning of those games, just moved to the damn middle of the map. Just like turn 2. I should have just made a bunch of pogs, and then turn 2 just move up. And I waited a couple turns too long, probably. Just being too conservative, probably in hindsight. I had damaged his Doom about halfway down. He was on his back half of his dial. APOC had taken 3 or 4 clicks of damage at this point, but I couldn't get in to get Mad Gem or Scarab or Magneto because he kept the barrier, and I couldn't get enough shots in to break down the barrier and then still get in there. So we go to a 0-0. Well, it's a roll off because it's in top cut. So we roll off. He rolls a 6, I roll a 7. I escape again.
Oh, that blows my mind. It is what it is, right? It's better to be lucky than good, right? I'll always contend that one.
Yeah, if you're gonna do well at one of these tournaments, you need some luck on your side, and it was definitely with me at this point.
So top 32. So I play against Michael Holloway, longtime supporter of the show, and he's playing Collector, Doom, Thanos with Star Sapphire, and I'll be honest, I won this one by the skin of my teeth. Mike and I spend the early part of the game going after each other's Thanos. And we quickly realize that that's not the play. It's not the play. And so he KOs my Molecule Man and my Star Sapphire, and eventually KOs my Collector. So I'm down to Thanos and Hope. So I KO'd his Star Sapphire immediately, so I go straight after his Doom. I end up KOing his Doom. He mind controls my Thanos to shoot my Hope, and I roll Super Senses on Hope. Oh, I'm sorry, on Thanos. So that's I won that one by the skin of my teeth, basically. I won map, so if I had approached that one differently, I would go more straightforward for the Doom. It was a long day, of course. My barrier placement wasn't perfect, and Michael took advantage of that. And then with the Collector bonuses thing, it was a big deal, right? Like, I mean, because, we were bumping up each other's damage a lot. But I ended that one with Thanos and Collector alive, or Thanos and Hope alive on my team versus his Thanos and Collector. So I scored just about 15 more points. It was 20 more points because I still had my cloak and he didn't have any equipment. And he started with Annihilating Conqueror, so he didn't have a time platform.
Okay.
So not that he could have, because the time platform one doesn't have ruler, so he went for the cosmic version of that. So if he had a time platform, he may have very well won. So.
I thought my hope with Adam was maybe if he was going to just mess up and bust the time platform, I was going to get points. But, of course, he's better than that, so that didn't happen. He actually started with Prisoner of Doom.
He actually started with Prisoner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah,
well, I mean
that's what he's been doing apparently. Yeah,
that's not. I mean, that's different, right? I mean, that's not a bad play.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. That's not a bad
No.
one. So,
No, that's
did he swap in the DJ?
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because he didn't have dice. He didn't have a dice replacement. Yeah.
Gotcha. So we end our top 32 day. We're both in the top 16. We go eat at Marlowe's. We shut them down. The waitress is telling us how busy she's been all weekend. We had quite the hoot and hollering at supper. And we go to bed and wake up and ready to go to top 16. So top 16, you face Easton Brock.
Easton Brock, another former champ. Yeah, another top tier player. And I always like playing Easton. Easton's a good dude. He wins map, so here we are. But he went and took me to Krakoan Garden, the map I would have chose anyway. He's playing the Apocalypse Annihilation Ruler team, so there's that one again. And Easton's killing my pogs left and right. And it really just became a battle between the pogs for the most part. He didn't get to hit me with the end cap card. It came up at the wrong time. I flipped the fool. That kept it from being a problem. And it went 0-0. I kept trying to get back to his back line there, but he was good and efficient at knocking my pogs out. So we roll off. We decided we were going to do it at the same time. We count down 1, 2, 3. I roll, crit hit. Easton rolled a 9.
Right. So that was a huge thing, right? I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I looked down and saw 2 Infinity Gauntlets fall, and I was just, I don't know, I was shocked.
Right.
So I escaped again into the top 8.
So, I was talking about, I'll say this, the top 16. So, I get told at the start of the morning that they're going to reverse the collector ruling about the +1 damage. So, we start out the top 16, and they have this huge discussion amongst all the judges about what they're going to do with the ruling. And they decided to just keep it the same. So I'm very thankful that they did that. I think that's the most positive outcome for the community. Sounds like that collector ruling is probably going to change here soon. So more to come on that. If you see it, you'll know it was because of Worlds. So that caused a little bit of a kerfluffle, obviously, but it was solved satisfactorily, right?
Right.
I have to play Isaac in top 16. Isaac play test with Scott Crampton. Scott Crampton's playing
your team.
We've traded Thanos teams back and forth all year. Isaac wins map. He has Chase Beast, a couple of maggots. There's nothing I can do. I mean, there is I think 2 things I could have done differently. Do I think that it would have made a statistically significant difference? No. Unfortunately not. So Isaac wipes me fairly succinctly. I could have done 2 things differently with the mind controls to maybe have given myself a better chance, but I have an attack on his beast and it just misses. It just misses. Nothing I can do about it. It just misses. So
yeah.
He didn't even have to use his prop. So, at that point, I'm like, Beast is going to stick around another turn. Of course, on his alpha, he rolls the 1 or 2. He gets the power cosmic on Beast. because if he doesn't, then I can outwit his outwit with hope. And it becomes more of a game at that point. But it ended up just not being one, basically. Beast and maggots and all this other stuff. And Jubilee, right? So the hardest matchup is X-Men from Thanos. I get knocked out. So I ended up somewhere between 9th and 16th. My day is over. I'm not displeased with my run, given the circumstances of the day going into the 6th round, and then the RNG basically of what I ran into in the top 16, right? So if I had been on the other side of the bracket, it had been a little bit different. I may have ran into you sooner. But if I had scored a little bit more points or a little bit less points, it would have made a huge difference in my matchups.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, I ran into what I ran into. Isaac's obviously one of the best players that's ever played the game at a young 17 years old. So I couldn't run. I can't run versus Jubilee. I can't. Scott played him and got like 40 points in top 4. So, Scott got a little bit better, but Scott didn't beat him either. So, it just kind of is what it is. So, you make it into top 8.
Yep, I make it top 8. And I'm playing Wes Summers, who's playing Fantastic Four. Which he's played Fantastic Four for quite some time. He knows what to do with it. He won map. So we're on. I forget what map it is. I forget what the map is now.
Latveria.
Latveria, yeah. And I thought he was going to come across at me with the leech, because he had leech on the team. He had already the double lockjaw, Valeria, thing, Franklin, maybe missing something else. So I had my Apox in the corner. I body locked with my Pogs, tried to keep him from getting adjacent to me. He didn't do that. He moved into another part of the map. He was setting up for a mind control with Artie. So he gets it set up. He goes to mind control 2 of my Apox. I wrote shape change on the first one. Second one, he's able to mind control. I missed the shape change. He goes to move him out. There's nowhere to go. I had enough Pogs out, and in the blocking terrain, he couldn't move my APOC to any legal square. So, I come out with a Pog, shoot some stuff, misplace my Pog 1 square too far forward. He's able to do it again. This time he actually gets the APOC out into the middle of the map. But he messed up his placement. Unfortunately, he didn't have the actions to do any kind of damage. So at this point now, I'm able to get a shot off on Artie and kill Artie and go up 20-0. And then I moved my APOC back into the corner. That was a mistake. I didn't see it coming. He goes leap climb, pulse wave, running shot with his Franklin to get past my Pogs, and the pulse waves them all, wipes them out, comes in and bases my APOX with his leech. Now, I've got one of them double tokened. I thought, okay, I can roll great size. Well, I can't roll great size because it's just willpower, so I don't have willpower. So he's stuck. Mm-hmm. I could have moved the other 2 away. I was trying to puzzle out some way to get out of this. I had damaged Lockjaw at one point earlier, but I didn't have enough to get through 2 of them with no powers. And I moved. Was Leech
adjacent to both Lockjaws?
Yes, he was. Yep. Yeah, he had. If he only been adjacent to 1, I could have just killed him.
Right.
I could have just double targeted him. But that was not the case. He had both of them, so I couldn't get anything out of it. I wound up moving 1 away. I think I made an attack. Pass turn, they call time, I win.
Yeah. So
Well, it was a great game. Probably my toughest game of the whole tournament. I think at that point, he played great, super fun. I was pretty scared there at the end, but I got away with it.
right.
So
So maybe he should have been a tad bit more aggressive on doing that play.
yeah, he probably should have just came in with it to start with.
Yeah.
Now, if I hadn't been double tokened on the apocalypse on the one, I just run away, right? Which should have stuck in my head more.
Right.
But,
Yeah, you could probably run away and survive another turn with just masterminding, manipulating the mastermind.
hmm Right, exactly. But so at this point, I'm like 9-0. I haven't gave up any points at during the tournament. I'm toasted at this point. Like that game really took it out of me. Like my mouth had gotten just completely dry at one point, and Adam Friedman was nice enough to go get me a bottle of water. So thank you, Adam. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just wasted at this point. So now we get down to play top 4, and I get to play Saul. And first Scarlet Witch I've seen all tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to win map real bad here. I rolled a 4. That's the only game I had a bonus against somebody to win map.
Right.
And roll a 4, and he wins map. And we go to Otherworld Castle. And I haven't played against this Scarlet Witch Angler setup, right? So he first turn runes me, and then on my turn I flip the 9 of Swords. So that's the card where at Precision Strike you can't evade the attack. So I let that probably get in my head too much. I was like, this is my chance to try to go in here and kill and again like knock Scarlet Witch to her stock. Like I feel like I have to kill Scarlet Witch to be able to win this game.
Right.
That's what's in my head. Like, and I guess what I should have done was just go in and attack with there's 2 deaths that I had available to attack with, and then I don't know, I didn't move the Apox out of the way. I don't know if I thought he had enough damage to kill both of them when he came down. I didn't realize, I guess, that he was going to have the enhancement, and then he wrote a crit hit on me too, in the middle of that. But also that map, he can just ping pong that Scarlet Witch for free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has a free TK with Magneto. He's got all that blocking there. And she just gets to move around that map so easy for free and then ruin you again.
Right.
So, I guess that was probably the wrong... I guess what I did was the wrong play, obviously. I outwitted her shape change and then went in with 2 attacks. I had 3 probs. I wound up hitting 1. I missed the other. So I had knocked her down part way. He wound up killing 2 APOCs. I still had 1. I thought, and then I had another play to kill her twice, and he rolled out of it both times, and was able to ruin my other APOC and then flurry with Saki, and that was that. I'm done. Got wiped. He wrecked me.
Oh well, you're not dumb. You played against the same thing for 9 rounds, and then played against something different finally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think if I moved, he still probably gets them. Like at least 1, if not 2 of them, because he has so much free movement to bounce around on that map. And if I was coming out away from it, I'm coming right down into the middle of where Saki and Jubilee already are. Right.
Right.
Losing the map roll was big because that gave him Jubilee on top of the map.
Right.
I probably stood a lot better chance had I won map. But I probably should have just attacked twice and moved both of them away. I don't know that would have won me the game. I think I still probably lost even after that. But I don't know. Anyway, I was done. That was it. That was my crazy run to 3rd place, I guess.
All right, so I got a question for you. Do you think APOC needs a change?
Do I think APOC needs a change? I don't know. I scored. I went 9 rounds without giving up any points. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not asking. I'm not asking you if you think that if APOC, what the change should be, if there is one. Do you think that APOC needs a change at this point?
Probably.
Okay. That's fair.
It's either that. It's either that, or like people just have to change their builds for it. I don't know. I know a lot of people feel like it does need a change, but I don't know. You know, if I guess there were 3 triple APOC teams in the tournament. I guess was all there was.
So Anthony Barnstable has a specific question for you related to that, Jason. Why do you think so few people played the same team as you?
Well, I'm going to say cost to acquire was probably one reason why. Because the legacy card is very expensive. The figure itself is very expensive. It's a legacy figure. They're not just something you pull out of a booster. And it's a point denial team. Like, I don't think people, for the most part, want to play point denial teams. I don't normally play point denial teams. But you know...
Do you remember what you told me?
What?
So you had been playing Switch and Flashes and all this other stuff. And I'm going to paraphrase you, and you can correct me where I'm wrong here. But you said that you were tired of playing little piddly shit that just keeps getting picked off. And it comes down to 100 to 70 loss sort of thing.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I was tired of like Thanos, mind controlling my characters and killing them off just at the drop of a hat or what have you. I was just tired of that. Like, I wanted something that was sturdy, and I found it. I mean, and I don't know, going out and getting those things, like, for me, that's kind of my second hobby. It's just trading shit. Like, I just like the trading aspect of what we do too. So I mean, I went out and acquired those, and I got lucky on buying one real cheap, and then I was able to trade a bunch of like OP stuff for one and a card, and so I got them fairly easily and fairly cheaply, really. And they were hard. They're hard to get. I don't think most people weren't going to go out and get 3 of them. It's hard to do. It's expensive to do for a lot of people.
Right.
And plus, I think it's just the type of team it is. People don't, for the most part, enjoy that type of team.
Right.
I don't think. I liked playing it. Like, I didn't find it to be overly mentally like taxing for the most part. It's I don't know. I like playing Pogs. I never really got to play a Pog team for the most part.
Right.
So it scratched that itch, and I think it's why because it's a point denial team that people don't like to play those types, and it's just hard to acquire the stuff.
Right. Yeah. No. Were you surprised that the other 2 Tripoc teams didn't do as well?
Yeah, I'm surprised Westbrook didn't do as well with it he didn't make cut.
Right.
I don't know who played.
Yeah, Barnstable mentioned that 2 other players played it. We know Esbrook was one. I'm not so sure who the other one is.
I think he got close to making cut. I didn't think I'd make cut. I didn't walk in there that morning thinking I was going to make cut. Everybody's talking about, they don't want to face this team, blah blah. Dial H decided they wanted to do an interview with me because everybody was telling them that's what they didn't want to play. I did not walk in there thinking I'm going to walk in here and go and make top cut, much less go undefeated and give up 0 points. That was not in my mind at all.
Right.
I'm shocked at what I did, really, to be honest.
Yeah. I was going to see if anybody else I was gonna see if anyone else had. If I could just see here from the Dial H stuff. One guy played 300 point God Emperor Doom, by the way.
Oh yeah, props to that guy.
Yeah. I kind of want to go see what he placed as.
Oh, how did Malcolm and the Double Airwalkers wind up doing?
I don't have that up on my screen right now because I'm looking through the pictures for the other Tripocalypse player. And I may miss it here going through regular quickly, but
have anybody else ever had WizKids tweet out that their team lost in a tournament and celebrate that they went down? Because I did.
Yeah, WizKids did indeed tweet that about you.
Yeah, that was that was fun.
Right, yeah. So, but yeah, that did happen.
I mean, I don't know. It was a crazy weekend. I'm still like soaking it in.
Right.
Like if I hadn't done so well with it, would people be bitching about APOC as much as they are? I don't know. Probably.
I mean, and plus there was so many of the single APOCs being played too.
Yeah.
In the top 32/16.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. There was there 4 APOCs in top 16? Is that what there was?
Well, I think maybe, yeah, there was 4 of the teams.
I mean, yeah, 4 teams. I don't count my 3 as just being multiple, but yeah.
Right.
4 APOC teams. Which isn't a horrible thing, I don't think.
Right. I don't see yet the other Tripoc. There's somebody. Okay, so someone played 300 point Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another variant. You know what? There is a lot of. There was a lot of Thanos, Jason.
Yeah, there was a lot of Thanos too. Yeah, which I mean, I expected that.
Right.
I think that single APOC ruler team was probably I'm guessing that was the most played team of the day. I'm assuming.
I am seeing quite. I'm not like someone was going to do some math on it, but
just like every time I sat at a table and looked up and down, I just saw APOC.
All right, so there's Matt Esbrook's team. I'm seeing there was a lot of single APOCs out there.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean,
there's Jason. Okay, there's you. Oh man, someone played Thanos, Sakarian Iron Man, the Commissioner, and Mad Jim Jaspers. Props to Andrew Wilson. Let's see. Hold on, I'm just still perusing here to see while we're just talking if I can find the other Tripoc team. They got a lot of the builds. Someone played a 150 point Scarlet Witch.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, it's like
I don't know how much Scarlet Witch got played, but whatever amount it probably wasn't enough.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But here's the thing: like people just play random stuff you can't plan for.
Right?
And there's just nothing you can. There's just no way to plan for it. Like, I mean. Like, I guess at some point we would have said, yeah, you need to have some sort of plan versus 150 point Scarlet Witch, but I can't find the other Tripoc. I do see the big 300 point APOC, but I don't see I don't see another Tripoc.
Yeah,
so
you're always going to have those rogue builds, though. I think. I mean, you're always going to have that.
Right, like that Merlin one in silver. Right, like it almost did me in because it was just that hard to play against.
Right.
So Jay Watts, we talked about kind of our hardest game throughout the event, and the question to us Question to me, am I still going to be playing Thanos? And I would say the answer to that is probably. But we have the Exosword Slop to review for Constructed, the new tarot cards from Slop, and then Avengers Forever is coming up right around the corner. Now, if all of that should be legal before Florida, I don't know. I have to see. And then we have to see when the collector ruling comes out. If and when the collector ruling comes out. And if or when between now and Florida, APOC is changed. So the question for you, Jason, what about, will you play the 3 APOCs ever again?
Nope, I'm done. That was it. I've already got rid of 2 of them. I'm not playing it again. I mean, I liked playing it. I enjoyed playing it. But I'm not going back. I'm already looking at other stuff. I want to play something with Hope. Maybe OP Saturnine. I probably would have played if month 1 had been legal. I would have played some kind of Saturnine team at Worlds. But
so Peter Marshfield asked, do you think the Prize Saturnine is being underrated for her ability to swap her tarot deck around? That's not why you play Prize Saturnine.
And that's a great bonus for playing her, but that's not why you're playing her.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it's because she can do the dice total thing, and she's not unique.
Yeah, she can manipulate the attack total.
Right.
She's non-unique, and it's board wide.
Yep, exactly. So, can we just go ahead and say that we can go ahead and start we're going to go ahead and start hyping / bitching about Prize Saturnine now, as a spoiler for the set review?
I mean, like, I don't think people. I haven't heard a bunch of people talking about her, but from the time I've got her in my hand at Gen Con in the Exoswords event, like, I knew she was going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people were paying attention, but I'm sure that word has gotten out at this point. But yeah, she's real good.
Yeah. So
maybe too good. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see. She certainly seems really good. But is the must-have Prime now Mad Jim? Or is there still flexibility between him and Destroyer?
I mean, sure.
My Destroyer only got to come out 1 game.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Destroyer, like, I cut Destroyer from my team. I originally had Destroyer on the team. So thanks to Jack Smith and Paul Cote and Az for talking to me about it. And I decided it was just a better idea just to drop.
Right. And
Destroyer.
that conversation we had basically at breakfast at McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, he helped when he would come out, but like, he doesn't help it. He's more of a liability at that point than he is a help. Right. He wasn't winning me the games. It was just like a win more maybe scenario.
Right. Or potentially lose.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, yeah, definitely more potentially lose maybe. So I think it was the right decision to drop him.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Peter, Mad Jim's definitely high on my list.
I think you can still play Destroyer, like, especially with the.
I still think you can. I don't think you have to play Mad Jim, but
no.
I think you very much consider playing Mad Jim over just trying to play a Destroyer.
Yeah, Mad Jim's going forward, is gonna have a lot more utility than he does now.
That's right. I agree.
So, I mean, I'll probably look at playing him more. I mean, Mad Jim myself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I would say, what build surprised you the most each in the constructed event? I would say Saul's team
Yeah.
was not surprising because Tyler had worked on the full map reach Scarlet. I would say, now that doesn't mean I'm taking credit away from Saul or anything. Saul's team was a very well constructed, very well thought out, very good team that we did not make or were close to making. But full map rune was on our mind. So I wasn't really surprised that a full map rune won. But what build surprised me the most? That did well?
I don't know. None of them surprised me, I don't
think so. To be honest, Peter, we saw so much of the ruler team. We saw so much Thanos. Isaac playing X-Men was not a huge surprise. I would say there was a component that surprised me more than anything. The unthemed X-swap version on Saul's and Az's team. And the fact that they were able to go to the Jubilee map more often than you figured they would have been able to. So.
Yeah. Unthemed is won Worlds and Nationals this year. So, is a theme team really the answer?
But
I guess not.
Probably, because statistically it didn't win, but the other, in Worlds, the other 7 teams were theme teams. So maybe there is maybe there is a bit of experimentation to be had about.
I think so.
Maybe there's some there's some experimentation to be had with unthemed.
Saul was undefeated for the entire tournament.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know if Isaac. I guess was Isaac undefeated all the time at Nats. I assume he was. I don't know.
Isaac was undefeated the whole time at Nats, and he was undefeated the whole time at Worlds until the end. So, I was going to look and see.
Unthemed team is not just necessarily a wrong thing to do.
Right.
I think we got into such a mode where you gotta play theme. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Right, but it has to be. The problem is that Saul's team is not easy to acquire. You know what I mean?
It is an expensive team,
right? So it's got Scarlet Witch, it had Saki, it had Mad Jim, it had a full list of things
of equipment.
It had Faust. Faust is not cheap. It had Venom Magneto. It had the Deadpool. Yeah. It had literally every expensive piece that you could think of.
Were any of those teams cheap and top? No.
Thanos.
Well, yeah. That was definitely the cheapest one for sure.
Right. So, if I'm looking, Saul's team, I'm looking at it here, it had so many expensive things that it's going to be hard for somebody to play that in real life. I'm looking at those other build sheets. They maybe had one expensive piece. They didn't have a team full of expensive pieces. Isaac's team had Venom Wolverine, Venom Magneto,
Beast.
Jubilee, Beast, Destroyer.
Maggots aren't cheap.
That's right. Maybe it was Az's team is pretty high because he had a bunch of expensive stuff, including a Venom Magneto. Mike Escu's team had all the Dooms on it. Masu's team was Latveria. It has the Dooms, the Sky Tyrant,
Flashes,
the Spirit of the Game Pog. Wes's team maybe. I don't know.
Wes's team, I think, one of the cheaper ones probably.
Yeah, but it's not cheaper than Thanos.
No, because it still has a ton of pieces with all that sideline.
Right, because it has High Evolutionary's not particularly cheap. The 2 Lockjaws aren't cheap. It has the Chase Human Torch. Leech is not cheap.
And Chase Valeria.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the ruler team, Josapha and Saul were the only two teams in the top 16 that were unthemed.
Mm-hmm. And Josapha's he's all the time playing unthemed teams.
Right. That's true.
That's his bread and butter.
And one other note at this point, because shout out to Lionel Clark.
The animal team.
It's almost, and I promised I wouldn't give Tyler a hard time because of the circumstances in which he was unable to attend Worlds. But it's almost like we told him, move High Evolutionary to 40 points, and you'll be good to go.
And he didn't do it.
And he just didn't do it. Lionel did. Animal theme team plus 7. Let's go, baby.
Top 16, yeah.
But that team's not cheap. Spider Ham, High Evolutionary Prime, 3 Maggots, 2 Lockjaws, and the emotional modifier. He also had Muramasa, but Muramasa is the cheapest point on that team.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, I guess the point I'm trying to make here with all this is the unthemed team is fine, but it also includes a bunch of expensive shit on it.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know what folks want. The meta's really expensive right now. All right, so let's we answered. So Peter has 2 more questions for us to answer. Do you think there's more potential for Lantern teams? You know, I get we don't know yet. I mean, we got to see the Dials and Batman team up.
To be determined. Yeah.
To be determined. It's
going to depend on that.
I appreciate that. There's hope, I guess. There's hope that it's going to be that way.
Yeah.
And then, is there potential with the Plastic Man and his objects in Modern or Silver? Yes. Oddly enough, it's another thing that we get to hype / bitch about starting really soon.
I've been looking at him. For the last few days.
Right. And you know what we say?
Yeah.
We say bitch about it, but I'm more hyped about it than anything. Just to be clear, so we typically don't bitch about stuff too much. We just play it these days. But so I guess it just depends on your perspective as the listener, whether you think we're hyping it or bitching about it. I suppose. That it's real good. I was looking at them here. It's the nifty traffic barrel. I wanted to make sure I got out of Worlds winning those prizes. And
I was super happy to get those. I was glad they put those down in Battle Royals. That was fantastic.
Right, nifty traffic barrel, nifty barricade,
traffic cone too.
They don't have the traffic cone in on. Which one does it do?
Hold on, I'll tell you. I've got it right over here near me here. I think it gives -2 speed. Traffic cone. Yeah, let's see here. Indestructible, immobile, characters to start. Within 4 squares, modify speed -2.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that'll be. That's not as bad as you can't use improved movement adjacent to.
No, but it still mess you up though.
Right.
Like you need those squares of movement.
I agree, and the fact that you can just play those by themselves is a big deal.
Yeah, this is like 3 points. Like, I don't know why we're in oddball points again like that. But...
Right. Well, I think the big thing is the barricade is 3 points, and what was the other one I just said?
The barrel.
Was it the barrel? Hold on. Let me just pull it back up. They equal 10, I think. The traffic barrel. Traffic barrel is Traffic barrel is 5, and then the barricade is 3. So for 8 points, you can maybe not be approached unless they have super strength. So Maybe we see a little bit return of Bishop Bubble Barrel, bubbly teams, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So, lots more to talk about on that, though. This is going to be a 4-hour episode, so, which is fine. But, Jason, was there anything else you wanted to talk about with Worlds? We did talk about the steakhouse last night, so,
okay.
The Grecian Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah. That fish was fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ate a shit ton of that. It was good.
Right. Yeah. In Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No one else is going to probably ever go there that listens to the podcasts. But
I would go back 5 stars. I don't know. I guess I just want to say, like, if you get a chance to go to Worlds, you should go. It's a great time. I'm sorry I didn't get to have more time to just hang out and talk to people. I got all caught up in playing Worlds and then going deep, so then I was trying to get my rest. We were playing late, and so I didn't get to, like, socialize as much as I would have liked to or thought I was going to get to because of that. So, but everybody I did said hi and told us they enjoyed the podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And everybody that cheered me on during the tournament. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Like Mike Eskew, man, he was keeping my energy up all day. He was checking in with me. I really appreciate that. That helped me a lot. It's a good time. So if you get to go. You won't regret it for sure.
Right.
And thanks to WizKids for putting it on and doing all the hard work. We needed it.
Yes, we did. So yeah, I mean, and again, thanks everybody for coming up, giving us feedback. We got to have some really great conversations with a lot of folks, and with that kind of feedback, it really makes this kind of thing worth doing, right? It makes it worth doing whenever I've had a cold all week. So
yeah, I always appreciate somebody telling me that they enjoyed listening. That just feels good. I like it. I'm glad somebody enjoys what we're doing.
Right. So I did get one thing to feedback to work on, and it is to sound more excited. So I'm going to be able to do my best. I'm going to try to change my tone and inflection, work on improving that. We did. You'll have to tell Gosselman. I don't know if you were there for that, Jason, but someone said that they missed Gosselman cursing a lot, basically.
Well, I try to fill that gap in, but I probably just don't do enough.
Right.
But yeah, I'll definitely tell him for sure.
Yeah. So, but maybe we need to do that episode 1 idea soon with David. So
that would be good. Yeah, David's birthday is tomorrow. Wish him a happy birthday. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm planning on trying to get this up Saturday. So you're right. It'd be a good time to do that. So.
Yep.
But yeah. So thanks everybody for all the great feedback. Thanks for hanging out with us. And thanks everybody for listening to Clixed Off today. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.